Welcome, everyone. It's been a while. We're finally starting a little earlier than I had planned, 5 minutes early. Hope you don't mind. I was really excited to finally finish Overzone event, especially since the anniversary is going on. And of course, I think we're in the middle of story 2 for Overzone, so I'm hoping we can complete story 2 and 3 today and just finish it all in one go. And also, I believe the first time was Japanese, and then the good chunk of story 1 and the start of story 2 was in English. And so today will be in Korean. So I hope you don't mind that. I personally enjoy all the voice acting, so I don't really have one that I am particularly preferring at the moment. But I hope you're enjoying all the different voices and languages that I'm going through audio-wise. Anyways, let's do our official start. Opening my tea party just for you. Who is that? It's Nina, the so-called anime enthusiast fox. It's time for my Nikke stream. Now then, my folks, what's in store for today? Today is the finale of Overzone. Well, more like it's gonna be story 2 and 3. So I guess we'll get started. But of course, let me say hi to everyone. Hi, Captain Luna. Hi, Max Nitro. Hi, Arson. Hi, Shiroi Saki. Hi, Lost Origin. Hi, Vice. Welcome to the stream. I'm finally watching your stream live after all the VODs of Nikke. Yeah! I'm actually going to be streaming at least the fan favorites and the most peak, or at least stream worthy, if we could call it that, moments of the game on YouTube. So, or streaming it here from now on. Mostly because, you know, there's some issues going on in the other platforms. So it's just easier to just do it here. Not to mention the fact that I am shifting my content from reactions to video essays. So this will be my way of enjoying the game with all of you and reacting to the moments that you guys are most interested in seeing, but also allowing me to rest and then go through the game at my own pace while writing video essays. I actually do have the first Nikke Overzone. Well, it's focused on Dorothy. The first Nikke video essay will be out on, I believe, end of this month, which is November. So you can look forward to that. I will be writing another one, particularly most likely part 2 of the first one that I already wrote, which will be based on this Overzone event. Most likely Dorothy, but I guess we'll see how many I can write since it does focus on one character each, and particularly with the themes of the story and how it can relate to our life in general. So I hope you guys look forward to that. I will be going through the mini game at the very end, so you could look forward to that too in this stream. This will be a very long stream. It'll be like maybe, I don't know, 6 hours max if need be. So just be aware of that. I don't expect everyone to stay here for all 6 hours, but at least you'll be able to see it in the VOD after. So I guess we'll get started. Wait, okay, so I have to clear this one. Do we got to today? Probably not. But I did get Cinderella offline. I was so happy about that. But yeah, I will be doing the minigame after story 3, which I believe is the last one. And I did get Cinderella once. I didn't get anything after that, but I'm gonna wait until the next banner, I believe, to try using the rest of my tickets. Just to let you know, Red Ash is required. Well, thankfully, I have been skipping the story for the anniversary, so you don't have to worry about me potentially spoiling myself. I was so happy to get Cinderella. Bzz, bzz.
안 2화의 실시간 통신을 시도합니다. 들립니까? 여기는 방주. 가테스 스쿼드. 들립니까?
Yes, I copy.
됐군. 여기는 가테스 스쿼드. 잘 들립니다.
다행입니다. 에블라 입자 농도가 급격하게 낮아져 혹시나 싶어서 통신을 시도해봤는데 성공하신 거군요.
They did indeed.
역시 대단하십니다.
저는 가테스 스쿼드의 리더 대행을 맡고 있는 도로시입니다. 그쪽 분은?
예, 저는 중앙정부에서 이번 방주 밀봉 프로젝트의 총책임을 맡고 있습니다. 사정상 이름을 밝힐 수 없는 점 양해 부탁드립니다.
단도직입적으로 묻겠습니다. 방주의 밀봉 이후 저희의 차원은 어떻게 되죠?
이전에 음성 메시지에서 전달드렸듯 최고 수준의 처우를 준비 중입니다.
So only a reception? Really? Like they're risking their life and you're only gonna give them a reception?
그건 확실히 약속드릴 수 있습니다.
그래요. 다행이네요.
Well, at least she said it's satisfied. Honestly, for me, I would be like, are you kidding me? Just a reception?
저 혹시 지휘관은 어떻게 되었나요?
지휘관이라 하시면 가테스 스쿼드의 지휘관을 말씀하시는 겁니까?
예, 살아있나요? 혹시 얘기를 나눠볼 수 있을까요?
죄송합니다만 지금은 아무것도 알 수 없습니다. 저도 사방으로 알아봤지만 알 수 있는 게 아무것도 없어서.
I mean, it's the apocalypse. I know, but you can at least be like, oh, you'll be given some, I don't know, a higher status or, you know, be given some more privileges or something along those lines. Just the reception is like, really? That's all? I mean, okay, fine, it's the apocalypse, but still.
그럴 수가...
죄송합니다.
아니요, 감사합니다.
I gotta say, I do like, really, I looked at the Overzone event. It says story 1, story 2, and then story 3 at the bottom. Did I look at it wrong? But anyways, I really like Rapunzel's Korean voice the most.
방주는 어떤가요?
솔직히 말씀드리면 엉망입니다. 그 많은 인원이 한 번에 거주지를 옮긴 거니까요. 정리해야 할 것도 많고 정해야 할 것도 많습니다. 혼돈의 도가니라고나 할까요? 하지만 확실한 건 모두가 희망에 차 있다는 겁니다. 랩처의 공포에서 벗어난 삶에 모두가 희망에 차 있어요.
그래요. 다행이네요. 그럼 이제 랩처 선멸 및 거대 엘리베이터 파괴만 완수하면 우리도 그곳으로 내려가 희망을 꿈꿀 수 있는 건가요?
물론입니다.
Well, okay, I'm glad that they're at least guaranteeing that they're allowed in.
알겠습니다. 하루 한 번 상황 공유를 위해 연락드리겠습니다. 곧 뵙겠습니다.
예, 곧 뵙겠습니다.
방주와의 실시간 통신이 종료되었습니다.
어찌어찌 되어는 가고 있는 모양이군. 예. 그럼 오늘은 쉬었다가 내일 바로 출발함세. 이번엔 내가 함께 가겠네. 알겠어요. 스노우 화이트가 안 보이는데 혹시 무슨 일 있나요? 경계를 서고 있네. 못 말리겠네요. 뭐 걱정 말게. 정 힘들면 얘기하겠지. 얘기를 안 하니까 문제죠.
That's true. She's so stubborn.
아니요. 만나러 안 갈 거예요. 어차피 또 맞는 말만 골라서 할 테니까. 그렇지. 그래서 딱히 할 말이 없지.
Huh, it's almost strange that in the previous, or at least from what I remember, the previous node of the story, Dorothy seemed very, very unstable. But then here in this this particular node, she seems very normal again, which kind of concerns me, but I guess we'll see more information about her later.
그럼 저흰 들어가서 먼저 쉴게요. 홍련도 푹 쉬어요. 그래, 주무시게. 스노우 화이트.
Oh, it's hard mode? Huh, I wonder why they wrote story 3 then. At least in the event thing, it says story 3. Instead of calling it hard mode. Huh. Hi, Bloodburn. Me without the eye patch. Thankfully, I don't have a sty, so it'll all be good.
고생했다.
Oh. I don't know why. I expected Snow White's voice to be a little higher pitched, and she's the youngest, right? But I actually like this deeper voice on her.
도로시는 괜찮던가? 예, 괜찮아 보였어요. 다 이겨낸 모양이에요.
Has she really overcome it though?
그래. 마음이 강하네요, 도로시는.
Hi Cole, welcome to the sheep. You should hear her Japanese because it's deep too. Oh yeah, it is. I think I heard it already before. But I think her Korean voice is especially very distinct and firm. It's very pleasant to listen to.
스노우 화이트? 그래, 이제 쉬어라.
I wonder if Snow White actually doesn't believe that Dorothy's okay, even though the others seem to be thinking that way.
교대해줄 생각은 아직도 없나요? 없다. 예, 부탁드릴게요. 그래. 쉬기 전에 잠깐 들를까? 응? 도로시. 아, 라푼젤. 안 주무셨어요? 저걸 깜빡해서요.
Among the graves, 20 wooden stakes have been have been stuck into the ground, upon which hang dog tags.
이쪽으로 옮기셨군요. 고마워요, 도로시. 뭘요? 라푼젤. 저는 앞으로 이곳을 목숨을 잃은 분들의 고향으로 만들고 싶어요.
Aww.
지상에서 발견한 갈 곳 잃은 그분들을 이곳에 모시는 거죠. 몸을 데려오진 못하겠지만 그 흔적만이라도 가져온다면 이곳은 지상에서 가장 거룩한 장소가 되지 않을까요? 예, 반드시 그렇게 될 거예요.
Now that I think about it, Dorothy has pink hair. Indeed, she does.
잠시만요, 쌤.
I still feel a little uncertain about Dorothy right now. I mean, the fact that she reached to the point where she was so ready to off herself, and then all of a sudden seems okay and is like that. It's too fast for her to. I mean, unless Nikke is usually very quick at, I guess, getting over such emotional disturbances to that degree. I just feel like something's gonna happen. It's very ominous. What part are you? Am I in the main story? I think I finished chapter 7. I think. I haven't started chapter 8 yet, I remember correctly. But I'm kind of scared.
대단해. 이걸로 끝인가? 대규모의 랩처 부대라길래 조금 기대했는데 싱겁군 그래. 예전부터 느낀 건데 홍련은 이상할 정도로 강하네요. 뭐가 다른 걸까요? 그건 내가 반칙을 쓰고 있기 때문일세. 반칙이요? 그럴 리가요. 어디 보자. 5년 정도 지났나? 랩처와 싸우기 시작한 지. 처음에는 프로토타입 니케 대 프로토타입 랩처의 싸움이었지만 서로 눈부신 속도로 진화하기 시작했지. 니케는 랩처를 효율적으로 죽이기 위해, 랩처는 니케를 효율적으로 죽이기 위해 서로 진화해갔어. 그 랩처의 진화에 가장 큰 영향을 미친 것은 니케가 총기를 사용한다는 것일세. 랩처는 총기를 사용하는 니케를 보다 효율적으로 죽이는 방향으로 진화했지. 그런데 나를 보게.
Scarlet slashes her sword through the air.
이런 걸 쓰고 있네. 그렇군요. 규격 외라는 얘기군요.
I think I know what was bothering me about the current Dorothy. Because usually in the, like, previously she wouldn't be as curious and asking questions about the other pilgrim Nikkes, but before she used to always be trapped in her own thoughts, which is why it's very, what is the word? Disturbing? No. It just catches me off guard. I really don't know how to like process this suddenly new version of Dorothy, which is why I feel like it's probably not a good thing.
그렇지. 놈들은 나를 죽이기 위해 진화하지 않아.
Yeah, off-putting, that's what it is. Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. Hey, I'm new to your channel. I'm really excited for the video essays. I plan to watch your main story VODs soonish. I'm happy that you're here, Porkin.
단 하나뿐인 검을 휘두르는 니케를 죽이기 위해 진화하는 건 비효율적이지. 하지만 나는 진화하고 있네. 검으로 랩처를 죽이는 법이 날이 갈수록 예리해지고 있지. 내 입장에서 놈들은 제자리 걸음, 나는 도약하고 있는 것일세. 그러니 강하지. 홍련 정도라면 랩처 입장에서도 경계할 만할 텐데요. 나 하나가 전쟁 전체에서 할 수 있는 일이 뭐가 있겠는가. 그렇게 말하지 말아요. 홍련은 라고 생각하고 있는 것을 뒤집어 놓을 걸세. 언젠가 이 검으로 퀸의 목을 베어버릴 걸세. 전혀 신경 쓰고 있지 않은 상대에게 목이 달아난다면 그거 참 유쾌하지 않겠나? 그렇네요. 그 다음은요? 글쎄. 싸우기 위해 태어났으니 이 목숨이 끊어지기 전까진 검을 휘둘러야겠지. 썩 나쁘지 않다고 생각하네. 내가 가장 잘하는 것만 하다가 떠나가는 게. 저희는 홍련이 다른 것에도 삶의 목적을 가졌으면 해요. 뭐, 안 그래도 생각해둔 것이 있네. 정말요? 뭔가요? 술을 직접 만드는 것일세.
She really likes those alcohols and like spirits, doesn't she? But I mean, That's not a bad dream, you know? At least it's something that's not fighting.
그렇게 한심하게 쳐다보지 말게. 한심하니 어쩔 수 없네요.
Because she says she's gonna make it, right? I mean, it's not like she's gonna be. Oh, I guess she would be drinking it all. Never mind.
얼마 전 내가 아무렇게나 뿌려놓은 씨앗이 싹을 틔운 것을 기억하는가? 예, 기억하죠. 일이 아무것도 없는 황무지에 새 생명이 태어났다는 건 내 입장에선 충격에 가까웠다네. 잊고 있었던 게야. 이 땅은, 이 지상은 비록 망가졌으나 죽은 것이 아님을. 문명이 무너지고 인류가 사라졌다고는 하나 이 땅은 아직 생명으로 가득 차 있네. 랩처를 생명으로 취급해야 할지는 잘 모르겠으나 지금껏 죽이는 것만 반복해왔네. 죽이는 것 말고 살리는 것을 해보고 싶어. 그래서 선택한 것이 농사일세. 농사? 그렇다네. 농사. 새로운 것이 태어나는 그 과정을 경험해보고 싶네. 두 눈에 새겨두고 싶은 걸세. 그 끝엔 술이 되는 거고요? 그렇지, 그렇지.
That's the life.
그래요.
For her. I think it sounds like a very fitting job for her to rest, especially after going through so much as a pilgrim, Nikke. I think, actually, let me write this down before I forget. I was gonna make the second Nikke video essay to be on Dorothy, but I think I'll have a couple of them released that'll focus on all the pilgrims eventually. I do have an idea for Scarlet, so I just need to write that down. Story 2. Okay.
싸우기만 하다가 바스러지는 삶은 너무 슬프니까요. 해서 나는 임시 초소에 텃밭부터 시작하죠. 임시 초소에 작은 텃밭을 만들죠. 그걸로 먼저 시작해 보는 거예요. 그거 괜찮은 생각이군. 가서 바로 준비해봐요.
랩처 부대의 섬멸이 확인되었습니다. 이제 남은 건 단 하나. 거대 엘리베이터 파괴로군요. 이제 와서 말씀드리는 것입니다만 방주 밀봉까지 3주가 더 소요될 예정입니다.
Are you serious? It's not even 3 days. It's, oh yeah, 3 weeks, like a month. Sorry about that. Gosh darn it.
지금까지 지상의 문제 때문에 지체된 모양이군요.
예, 맞습니다. 죄송합니다만 3주만 더 그곳에서 버텨주실 수 있겠습니까? 다음 목표인 거대 엘리베이터를 통해 물자와 식량을 보내겠습니다. 한 달치는 될 테니 그걸로 어떻게든 버텨주실 수 없을까요?
Well, at least now they're actually sending supplies, so I guess I can't complain.
네, 알겠습니다. 지금 상태에서 3주 정도 더 버티는 건 크게 문제되지 않아요.
정말 감사합니다. 그럼 바로 물자를 실어 올려보내겠습니다. 수령하신 후 엘리베이터를 파괴해주시면 감사하겠습니다.
예, 이것까지 완료해도 통신은 유지되는 거겠죠?
물론입니다.
알겠습니다. 일이 끝난 후 연락드릴게요.
기다리고 있겠습니다.
통신을 종료했습니다.
물자 지원이라. 그럼 이제 수색은 안 나가도 되는 건가요?
I guess so.
그렇지. 이곳을 방어하는데 좀 더 전념할 수 있겠군. 요즘에는 습격도 잘 없긴 하지만요. 저흰 바로 출발할게요. 스노우 화이트는요? 곧 수색에서 돌아올 걸세.
왔다.
어서 오세요.
Fast.
수고하셨어요. 뭐 소확이라도 있는가?
사슴을 잡아왔다.
또? 아니 자네 사슴한테 무슨 원한... 그런데
That's funny though.
우리 중 그걸 손질할 수 있는 이는... 또? 아니 자네 사슴한테 무슨 원한이라도 줬는가?
There we go. I accidentally pressed it twice.
도로시,
예?
사슴 손질을 부탁하지.
예, 알겠어요. 응? 도로시, 그걸 할 줄 알아요?
Yes, because
예, 못할 건 또 뭔가요? 시키는 대로 하면 되는걸요. 그렇죠?
그럼 부탁하지.
1 hour later.
이렇게 하면 되는 거죠? 별거 아니었네요, 생각보다. 대단하군. 나중에 나도 배워야겠네. 저는 속이 좀 안 좋아졌어요.
I know, but Rapunzel it's probably a skill that will be very useful one day, maybe.
훈제에서 보관하자. 홍련, 부탁해도 될까?
알겠네. 조금쯤은 직화로 구워서 먹어도 되겠지?
그 정도야 문제될 건 없겠지. 그럼 도로시, 우리는 출발하자.
예. 그러고 보니 스노우 화이트,
뭐지?
전에 절 도와줘서 고마워요.
천만에. 필요한 일을 했을 뿐이다.
그 뒤로 잠은 좀 주무셨나요?
아니,
스노우 화이트, 그러다가...
걱정 마라. 내가 인간성을 잃을 일은 없으니까.
How do I put this? Like, the way that Snow White speaks in Korean is a lot more curt than the other voices, which I find to be very interesting. Mostly because the way that she talks is that it makes it difficult for you to want to say something. Like, she says it in such a curt way that it would like end the conversation so awkwardly. Like, what's happening here?
도로시,
예.
Snow White stares at Dorothy intently.
왜 그러시나요? 저일 그렇게 빤히 쳐다보고...
도로시,
예?
왜 자꾸 저희라고 말하는 거지?
Oh.
거긴 너 혼자밖에 없다. 넌 대체 뭘 보고 있는 거지?
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. No. I knew she wasn't well, but so this is what she's oh no.
스노우 화이트, 지금 무슨 소리를 하는지 잘 모르겠어요.
미안하지만 라푼젤과 홍련에게 널 지켜봐 달라고 했다. 한 번씩 대화가 이어지지 않았다고 해. 마치 네가 누군가와 대화하고 있는 것 같다고 했다.
Is this why it felt like the conversation was so odd and off-putting?
예? 그거야 당연히.
피나가 지금 네 옆에 있나?
예, 아까부터 계속 있죠. 지금까지 계속 같이 있었잖아요. 저는 지금 신나요. 방주와 연락이 닿았잖아요. 우리를 잊지 않았고 우리를 위해 많은 걸 준비한다고 했어요. 갈 수 있어요. 낙원으로.
방주라, 이거 엄청 기대되네요. 벌써부터 잠 못 잘 것 같아요.
저도요. 기대되는 건 사실이네만. 이렇게까지 멀리 나온 건 처음이네요. 방 조금 설레지 않나요?
Oops. Wait, let me listen to that again.
이렇게까지 멀리 나온 건 처음이네요. 방주 입구를 보호하면서 그 근처만 돌아다녔었는데.
그러게요. 이렇게 멀리 나오는 것도 괜찮네요.
그럼 우리 조금만 놀다가 갈까요?
괜찮나요? 다른 사람들이 기다릴 텐데.
괜찮아요, 그 정도는. 자주 있는 기회도 아니고. 도로시가 기분 좋아 보여서 다행이에요.
I did feel like the conversation was kind of weird, but at the same time, it's not as obvious when you're listening to it in English compared to Korean. Because I think I listened to this in English at first, but it didn't sound that off in English. But then when you actually listen to it in Korean, and I assume in Japanese too, it's a little bit more obvious, but at the same time, maybe not really. Like in English, they make it really hard for you to be able to tell, but it's interesting that Korean and maybe Japanese is a little bit more obvious, which is clearly the case as I'm listening to this in Korean. Oh, you can tell that she is a bit off. So I guess it's for both Japanese and Korean where they make it quite obvious that something's wrong. But English is kind of difficult.
저희는 지금 살아있죠. 앞으로도 살아남을 테죠.
Like I knew that her tone and something was wrong because she seemed a little bit too happy, and it's not normal for someone to get that happy all of a sudden, even when they were like just about to off themselves in the previous. But at the same time, maybe it's the language difference, but it's not very obvious at all. Unless you like really look into it very well. Because the translation isn't as, I guess, accurate. I mean, it is, but like it doesn't reflect it as well, perhaps. But yeah, in any case.
낙원에서 함께. 그렇죠? 우리 약속했으니까.
예, 도르시님.
예, 그럼요. 설마 무덤일까요? 가보면 안 되겠죠? 랩처가 있으니까. 안 될 게 뭐 있나요? 가보죠. 저 정도의 수는 저 혼자서도 충분해요. 이쪽으로 끌어들일 방법은 없을까요? 무덤이 망가질까봐 그런가요? 예, 무리라면 굳이 그렇게 하지 않아도.
허공에 총을 쏴버리죠.
좋은 방법이네요. 됐어요. 끌어들였어요. 조금 과격해지셨네요. 과격하다네요.
그래도 좋은 방법이었죠?
옵니다.
보여주실 거죠? 도로시님의 힘을.
물론이죠. 잘 봐둬요. 제가 싸우는 모습을. 스노우 화이트가 안 보이는데 혹시 무슨 일 있나요?
경계를 서고 있네.
못 말리겠네요.
뭐 걱정 말게. 정 힘들면 얘기하겠지.
얘기를 안 하니까 문제죠.
만나러 가보실 건가요?
아니요, 만나러 안 갈 거예요. 어차피 또 맞는 말만 골라서 할 테니까.
그렇지. 그래서 딱히 할 말이 없지.
예전부터 느낀 건데 홍련은 이상할 정도로 강하네요. 뭐가 다른 걸까요?
그건 내가 반칙을 쓰고 있기 때문일세.
반칙이요?
랩처랑 동맹이라도 맺은 거 아닐까요?
I mean, I know it's sad, but the conversation.
그럴 리가요.
사슴 손질을 부탁하지.
예, 알겠어요.
응?
도로시, 그걸 할 줄 알아요? 응? 예, 못할 건 또 뭔가요? 시키는 대로 하면 되는걸요. 그렇죠?
그럼요. 간단한 일이죠.
그럼 부탁하지.
이렇게 하면 되는 거죠?
예, 잘하셨어요.
별거 아니었네요, 생각보다.
대단하군. 나중에 나도 배워야겠네.
스노우 화이트, 괜찮아요?
Boy, oh boy.
도로시. 피나는 죽었다.
You're just saying it like that? I mean, okay, I mean, it's not like they can do anything. But is it really the right time to say that to her?
침식에 당해서 네 손으로 보내줬어. 지금 네 옆에 있는 건 네가 만들어낸
I really don't think it's the right time to tell her or something like that.
아, 스노우 화이트가 농담까지 할 줄은 몰랐네요.
Oh my gosh. It really isn't the best way to handle this situation. Because if she's this, you know, traumatized to the point where she's hallucinating, I don't think telling her the truth right there and then is the right timing. But I do think that telling her later after the mission is probably much better because then she'll have more time to recover and focus on recovering.
방금 건 조금 과하긴 했지만 괜찮았어요. 좀 더 다듬어 봐요.
그래도 애쓰신 느낌이 나서 좋네요.
그러게요. 스노우 화이트도 변하려 하는 걸까요? 우리도 질 수 없죠. 오늘부터 뭐라도 해볼까요?
좋죠? 뭐로 해볼까요?
글쎄요. 이왕 하는 거 생산적인 거면 좋을 텐데요.
뭘 할진 모르겠지만 먼저 포기하는 사람이 식재료 다듬기 당번 5일 하기예요.
그거 좋네요. 물론 내가 이기겠지만.
그럼 하기로 한 겁니다. 약속?
예, 약속.
Dorothy does a pinky swear in midair.
새끼손가락 약속은 진짜 오랜만에 해보네요.
도로시.
후딱 끝냅시다.
I don't know how I feel. Like, I had a feeling she wasn't well, so I kind of prepared myself, but at the same time, I'm not surprised.
수업에 모두 집중해주세요.
Well, I guess it's fine. It's not fine.
다들 얼굴 찡그리지 마세요.
Imagine being snow exhausted from the day's work and hearing Doro speak to herself and pinky swear the air. I wouldn't know what to do, honestly.
배운 대로 써먹기.
It's not like there's a manual where you can just refer to and see how to handle a situation. I keep forgetting to put the codes in. I should really do that today.
이제 다음 수업을 준비해보려 합니다.
Maybe after the stream. Did I pull for Cindy already? Yes, I have.
도로시가
죽음에 끌려 들어가 버렸군요.
선명하게 보이는 모양이다. 조금 자극해봤지만 농담으로 치부하더군. 그것뿐만이 아니야. 새끼손가락으로 약속했을 때 손의 주름, 눌려진 정도가 누군가와 새끼손가락을 건 것처럼 되었어. 실존하는 거야, 도로시에겐.
그럼 사슴을 손질한 것도
뇌리에 남아있던 사슴을 손질한 피나의 모습을 자기 자신의 정보로 보강한 후 그대로 재현했다. 그리고 그걸 피나가 옆에서 도와준 것으로 인식했다.
어떨 것 같나요?
글쎄, 이건
문제는 없다.
저도 그렇게 생각해요.
문제는 없어. 그걸로 인해 도로시가 버티고 있고 실생활에 문제를 일으키지도 않아. 나는 이대로도 괜찮다고 본다.
생각할 수 있는 가장 최악의 사태는 무엇일 것 같나? 도로시의 자아를 잡아먹어 붕괴시킨다?
도로시가 만들어낸 존재인 만큼 도로시의 상식 안에서만 행동하겠죠. 피나는 도로시의 친구예요. 옆에 두면 즐겁고 행복한 존재죠. 그 역할에 충실할 테니 자아를 잡아먹을 일은 일어나지 않을 거예요. 가장 최악의 상황은 역시 돌연 사라지는 것이겠죠. 피나 모르긴 몰라도 아슬아슬한 상태일 테죠. 아주 작은 계기로 갑자기 사라질 수도 있어요.
그러면 우리가 뭘 해줘야 도로시가 멀쩡할 것 같나?
그냥 평소 하던 대로 지내면 될 것 같아요.
동의한다.
That's true. That's probably the best way right now. At least until the mission is over.
좋네. 해봄새.
Snow White's voice is very Otis sound. Yeah, now that you mention it, it kind of does. Maybe it's the same voice actress? Maybe?
예,
그래.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
대형 엘리베이터 파괴까지 확인했습니다. 정말 감사드립니다. 이제 방주는 밀봉 최종 단계로 넘어갑니다. 예상 기간은 3주. 그동안 다시 한번 잘 부탁드립니다.
걱정 마세요.
엘리베이터를 통해 올려보낸 물품들은 전부 받으셨습니까?
예, 잘 받았어요. 아, 물품 중에 회반죽 같은 건 뭐죠? 보강용 자재로 쓰기엔 크기가 너무 작던데.
아, 예. 그건 퍼펙트라고. 방주에서 주식으로 사용할 음식입니다.
음식이라고요?
예, 맛이 좀 끔찍하죠. 하지만 이론상 완벽한 식품입니다. 그것만 먹어도 장수할 수 있죠. 그래도 역시 진짜 위급할 때가 아니면 안 드시는 걸 추천합니다.
Why does it taste that horrible?
예, 알겠어요.
그럼 매일 한 번씩 연락하겠습니다.
아이아이아이.
예.
통신이 종료되었습니다.
자, 그럼 3주 동안 열심히 살아남아 볼까요?
Well, I'm glad that. Oh wait, but it's interesting that we now got a little bit more lore about the arc, in that they eat that plasticine, whatever they called it, thing, Splenda, whatever it was. Makes me wonder how bad it tastes. That he's saying, I recommend you know, don't eat that unless you really need to. They did not wait quietly.
누가 좀 도와줘요. 저 이거 어떻게 업어야 할지 모르겠어요.
사슴을 업는 방법은 간단하네. 그렇죠. 하고 기압을 넣고 들어올리면 되지.
Oh, that's so funny.
그게 안 되니까 부탁드리는 거잖아요.
앞발을 모아 잡고 어깨에 짊어지면 돼요.
그렇다고 하네요, 라푼젤. 저 못 들어서 그런데 도로시가 다시 한번 얘기해주면 안 돼요? 앞발을 모아 잡고 어깨에 짊어지면 된대요. 앞발을 모아 잡고 어깨에 기압을 헛자! 업었어요!
근데 그냥 들고 와도 되지 않나? 그것도 못 들 정도는 아닐 텐데.
그냥 드니까 자꾸 눈이 마주쳐서.
업으면
That's why.
바로 옆에 얼굴이 있는 건 괜찮고.
Don't say that.
머리를 떼고 가야 할까요?
No.
자네 보기보다 과격한 면이 있군.
I don't think that's what she meant. Scavenging for new items.
이걸 이렇게 잘게 써는 게 맞다고요? 이러면 아무런 맛이 안 느껴질 텐데요.
풍미를 더하는 겁니다. 레시피에는 그렇게 쓰여 있어요.
그 레시피 확실한 것 맞죠?
그럼요. 제가 이 바쁜 와중에 방주의 도서관에서 몰래 가져왔어요. 한때 베스트셀러라고 했으니 확실할 겁니다.
알겠어요. 그 다음은요?
거참 저녁 한번 먹으려다 날 새겠군.
질 좋은 음식엔 기다림이 필요하다.
That is true.
스노우 화이트, 침 좀 닦아요. 이걸 끓인다고요?
도로시님, 이거 아무리 봐도 아닌 것 같은데요?
그렇죠? 뭔가 잘못된 게 분명해요.
아니, 왜 이렇게 절 못 믿으시는 겁니까? 그거 넣고 끓이면 된다니까요. 그러면 귀신같이 완벽한 요리가...
뭔가 엄청 불길한 감탄사가 나왔는데요?
죄송합니다. 중간부터 레시피가 섞였어요.
Gosh darn it.
물체 X가 완성되었군요.
이건 버려야겠네요.
Nah, she wants to eat it.
내가 버리고 오겠다.
She's gonna eat it.
그러니까 침 좀 닦으라니까요.
Everyone tries making something that looks remotely edible.
다들 여기 와서 이것 좀 보게.
무슨 일인가요?
이것 보게. 이거
우와, 싹이 자라났네요.
이건
그래. 내 술이 되어줄 귀중한 녀석일세.
술이 되려면 한참은 더 기다려야겠네요.
뭐 어떤가. 시간은 남아돌지 않나. 경고하는데 이걸 먹는 순간 자네라고 해도 용서 안 할 걸세.
She won't forget that.
알겠다.
자, 그럼 좀 더 심어볼까?
They also pass the time gardening.
여러분, 우리는 곧 이곳을 떠나요. 그리고 방주는 밀봉될 테고요. 인류는 비록 지하로 내려가지만 살아남게 되었어요. 모두 여러분 덕이에요. 여러분이 아니었다면 이렇게까지 할 수 없었어요. 여러분들이 인류를 구원해 주셨어요. 정말 감사합니다. 고마워요, 모두들.
Pray for the dearly departed who left before us.
시작합니다. 3, 2, 1.
3 weeks later. There is a thunderous reverberation that seems to shake the very ground. The ark has been sealed.
끝났군요.
고생 많으셨어요.
비나도요.
현 시간으로 방주의 밀봉이 끝났습니다. 가테스 코드에 다시 한번 감사의 말씀드립니다.
수고하셨어요. 그럼 이제 우리도 움직이죠. 어디로 가면 될까요?
여러분의 공적을 기리는 의미로 방주에는 초대형 승리의 여신상이 세워질 겁니다. 그리고 여러분을 신격화한 서적과 광고를 만들어 방주 내에 적극 전파할 예정입니다.
Huh. Okay, that's not bad.
모두가 가테스 스쿼드를 우러러보겠죠.
당신 이름이 뭐죠?
사정상 이름을 말할 수는 없습니다.
이름.
오스왈드입니다.
Oswald.
그래요, 오스왈드. 제가 약속 하나 할게요. 가능하다면 당신을, 그게 안 된다면 당신의 가족, 후손 모두 세상에서 가장 고통스럽게 죽여줄게요.
무서운 소리를 하시는군요.
처음부터 우릴 들여보내줄 생각이 없었죠?
That's true if they're making statues and all that stuff.
예, 말 그대로 밀봉이니까요.
우리를 잃는 건 방주 입장에서도 큰 손해일 텐데요.
과학은 발전하는 법입니다. 이미 3세대 바디 개발이 막바지일 정도입니다.
우리에게 축적된 데이터는 스펙의 차이를 아득히 뛰어넘을 수 있어요.
그것 또한 조금만 지나면 구식 데이터가 될 뿐이겠죠.
오스왈드,
말씀하십시오.
문을 열어요.
열 수 없습니다. 그러고 싶지만 할 수 없어요.
열어요.
안 됩니다.
열어요. 열라고요. 지금 당장 문을 열지 않으면 입구를 부숴버리겠어요. 그러면 당신들은 다 끝장이에요.
못합니다. 당신은
아니, 할 수 있어요. 그러니 열어요.
당신들은 고귀한 이들입니다. 당신들의 몸을 보신하기 위해 많은 일을 위험에 빠지게 하지 않아요.
오케이.
아니, 정확히는 할 수 없어요. 그런 분들입니다. 여러분들은.
하나 묻지.
예,
너의 독단인가 모두의 선택인가?
모두의 선택입니다.
These pieces of trash.
그래, 알았다.
I don't know if I can call it a necessary action to take.
그럼 이제 통신을 끊겠습니다.
잠깐, 그러면 한 명이라도 들여보내줘요. 피나를 약속했단 말이에요. 낙원으로 데려가 주겠다고. 그러니 부탁이에요. 피나만이라도 들여보내줘요.
Well, can't really blame the dude for being the messenger, but the higher-ups are really not great. I mean, even if it is humanity first, everyone was mad at him, but he's just the messenger. If anything, they should be mad at the whatever it is, the higher ups that are probably the ones that made the decision. He sounds like Oswald sounds like one of the lower ranked people who had no choice but to deliver the news. Not exactly something that he wants to do, at least from what I can understand. Because he even said it himself that he would love to, but since it's something that everyone has decided, it's not like he can go against what they're saying. I mean, I get it. There's like political reasons most likely that they don't want them to enter, but I don't know. It's always political reasons. I'm so tired of politics.
통신이 종료되었습니다.
다시 연결해요.
회선이 닫혀 있습니다. 연결할 수 없습니다.
도로시, 일단 좀 쉬지.
신나게 놀아볼까요?
I would think even if he is part of the higher ups, I feel like the way he said the whole thing in Korean, it did not sound like he actually wanted to keep them out, more like he had no choice. I feel like he was probably the part of the minority that wanted to bring them back, but most likely due to political reasons or some other reason, they just, the rest
다음
probably
수업을
don't want
준비해보려
to.
합니다.
Makes me wonder if they made their decision based on fear rather than hope, which is kind of ironic, but whatever, it's fine. How am I feeling? I don't know. I feel like I can understand, but at the same time, I don't really approve of what they're doing. I mean, it's already shady enough that they mean Nikke's, okay, for the survival of humanity, but whatever. But we wouldn't have this game if that was the case, so it's fine. Plus, like, there were a lot of delays and issues within the arc, so it's clearly like there's clearly a lot going on within there politically rather than, you know, physically. I mean, sure, there might have been what is it? There may have been like technical issues and whatnot, but I really do think that there was more political issues, mostly because in reality, the things that could have went forward fast usually gets delayed because of political issues, not really because of technical issues. Technical issues can usually be fixed faster, but because of higher ups or some kind of political underlining thing, whether it's office politics or whatever, it always causes more delays. So in that regard, my assumption is that maybe due to lack of information or previous past incidents, I don't really know what those might be. It's not like I played enough of the main story and or other events. So this is just me guessing that they're basing most of their, one, due to groupthink, and two, due to fear, regardless of what the actual reason is that they say that it is. And that those two ended up delaying politically and also making the decision to not have them come in. And I feel like Oswald is someone who does not really rely on fear to make decisions along with groupthink, but at the same time he has no choice because it is a majority rule, and it's not like he can really fight against the majority to bring them back. But I guess I'll learn more about him based on what you guys are telling me in the other events, so I guess I'll look forward to that.
이곳을 떠나야 해.
But also, do not tell me any spoilers because I have not played Red Ash and I do not want to know any information until I reach it. So no spoilers. If there are spoilers, let my mods know so that they can delete it. Right now, I'm not looking at the chat right now because I'm worried that you guys are gonna tell me so much spoilers to the point it's like, what's the point of me playing if you guys are telling me all the information? So anyways, let me continue with the story.
동의하네.
예, 그 편이 좋겠죠. 예?
Oh boy, she's really not in a good...
우리가 이곳에 계속 있는 한 랩처들은 이곳으로 올 테니까요.
That's true.
그럼 방주 입구가 위험해질 수도 있어요.
잔챙이라면 문제없지만 그 헬레틱이라는 것이 오면 우리라고 승리를 장담할 수 없지.
그래. 그러니 이곳을 떠나는 게 맞다.
여러분들,
Oh, she's finally reaching the point of man. Oh, just look at her.
지금 무슨 소리를 하시는 건가요? 우리 배신당했어요. 배신당했다고요. 방주에게 인류에게 그렇게 목숨 바쳐 지키려 했던 방주에게 인류에게 배신당했다고요.
This is the normal human reaction when you are you know, I kind of had a feeling that this was gonna happen because they were very much stalling and not really clearly saying that they'll be accepting them in the arc. But when it actually happened, it was like, really? You really had to go this far? You really had to succumb to your fear and the other stuff without caring about the ones who sacrificed everything? Like, man.
그런데 뭐라고요? 여기가 위험해질 수도 있으니 옮기자고요? 다들 머리가 어떻게 된 거 아닌가요?
도로시,
One thing I will hold over people defending Dorothy is that for how much they bluster about saving humanity, that's not exactly what happened. No, is that the war has lost, humanity will disappear. But it's not exactly their fault because that's the entirety of humanity. It wouldn't be fair to have her be holding the entirety of that on her shoulders. At least that's my opinion. It's more unfair that if people depend on only a few people to defend humanity when it should be everyone. Even if it means that humanity gets destroyed in the end. But in reality, I think humans in general are pretty much hypocrites. They lost, so they deserve no sympathy. That's cold-blooded. I just don't think that it's right to not empathize with others just because they're hypocrites. Because in reality, everyone is hypocrites to some degree. At least at one point in their lives. It just feels very sad. It wasn't just Nikke's fighting. Yeah, I know that, but the fact that they're sacrificing them just because that they're strong and survived and for whatever else reason is kind of what? I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you really had to go down that path, didn't you? But I think it's valid for them to have a human response that they were basically used and thrown away like trash, as if they were toys. And I think that's normal to react like that. It's kind of like when you work in a corporation and you worked on this amazing project, and then at the end of the project, your manager says that it was them that did all the work and you don't get any credit. And then when you point out that you worked on it, they like fire you. Then is that really something that you can't get angry about? Because that's pretty much their situation. The point of their mission is to help humanity avoid extinction. And they did it, they succeed. So why is it that people are saying that, you know, it's that they failed? What? They did their job enough, at least to the best of their ability. It's not really something that people can just do and succeed. Because in reality, they have a human brain, not completely rapture robot. At least, that's my opinion.
너는 어떻게 하고 싶지? 방주에 복수할 수는 없다.
그곳은 인류 최후의 터전이니 말일세.
물론 화나요. 억울하고. 하지만 어떡하나요? 우리는 방주에게 복수할 수 없어요.
우리가 할 일은 지상에서 랩처의 수장을 쓰러뜨릴 방법을.
사람 좋은 소린 집어치워요. 저희는 인정 못해요. 낙원이 바로 우리 발밑에 있어요. 들어가기만 하면.
They did their mission. I can only imagine how it must feel where you can finally rest after so much fighting and death and trauma that you had experienced, and it's just like 5 steps away and you can finally rest, but the people inside the paradise won't let you in just because you have experienced all that and are considered too powerful, too scary, too much of an unknown. Even though all you want to do is just sleep somewhere where it's safe and where you can finally not have to worry so much. Like, just imagine the pain and the suffocation and the despair that you feel, where you realize that you can never finally actually rest. So horrible. I don't think I would be able to handle such a emotion and trauma after that.
지금까지 괴로웠던 모든 것을 보상받을 수 있는 낙원이 그걸 그렇게... 그러면 어쩔 수 없군 하고 넘어가자고요? 다들 바보예요? 지금까지 우리가 한 일이 가치 없는 헛수고가 되어버렸다고요! 릴리스도 레드우드도 개죽음을 당한 거라고요!
헛수고가 아니야. 개죽음도 아니야. 우리는 인류를 지켜냈다. 지금은 그거면 된 거야.
I do think all of them, like the way that they're feeling and the way that they're handling the situation is fine. Or at the very least, I think Rapunzel has the most health, like she has the healthiest response to the betrayal, I feel like. But Dorothy and I think Snow White are like completely opposites in regards to how they're responding to the situation and the betrayal that they experience, which I find to be very interesting of a spectrum.
도대체 뭐가 됐다는...
나도! 나도 억울하다. 화가 난다. 그런데 우린 갓데스다. 승리의 여신, 인류의 희망 갓데스다. 우린 끝까지 그렇게 되어야 해. 그 자부심을 마음에 심어준, 아니, 절대 지워지지 않게 새겨준 것은 도로시, 너다. 네가 알려준 거다. 대답해라, 도로시. 우리는 승리의 여신인가? 대답해라. 우리는 승리의 여신인가?
예,
우리는 인류의 희망인가?
예,
우리는 가테스인가?
도로시.
맞아요. 예, 맞아요. 우리는 승리의 여신, 인류의 희망, 가테스예요. 도로시. 잘 말해주었네. 자네가 그 말을 해줘서 우린 우리로 남을 수 있게 되었네.
머리통 딱 떼라.
That made me sad.
쌤 봤어요?
And
적절하죠?
the voice actors for Dorothy and Snow White did really well. It's a shame that the translation wasn't following exactly what they were saying though. But I really liked the way that the Korean one did. The translation only get worse in Red Ash. Maybe I should just play it in Japanese and Korean then. Or just stick to Korean since it is the original. Mostly because the more I listen to the Korean and the Japanese, the more I realize just how off the translation is. Even though I do like the English voices, which is a shame. Because the part I'm trying not to cry. When I remember the part at the end with Korean. But the differences between the translation, the English translation, and the Korean, at least in the part at the end, was so different, which made me appreciate the fact that I know Korean, so I can understand what they're saying. So I didn't really need to read it because of that. But maybe because of that, the scene was a lot more impactful. Which I really liked, because it emphasized the shift in the group and their mindset, but also the core thing that kept them together. Not really, it's not that. It's the choice of words, the nuances, and then sometimes they don't even write down the things that they're actually saying. For example, in the Korean one, they said way different things in the translation. So that's also why I'm kind of reluctant to play fully in English, because even though I like the voices, I don't know if I would be able to understand the nuances of what they're saying and the actual personalities of the characters that is not distorted by localization from English. And it's not just rearranging the order of what they're saying, because sometimes it's not just that. If it was just that, I would be okay with that, but it's not, which is the problem. And that's clearly the case with this part at the end too, and that's not the case. Sometimes they just don't write what exactly, like there's some missing information. Like the one time I was playing, I think in an earlier chapter, then sometimes like they're saying something and then I wait for the text to finish, but there's like nothing, and I'm like, wait, is it in the next one? So I click on it and then it's not even there even after that. It's like, oh, okay. I guess they just didn't think it was important to add, or they're just not like actually, I guess, going through things. I don't know, it's just, I like sometimes it's accurate and sometimes it's just rearranging, but sometimes they just don't add in anything important. I mean, I still like the English voices. It's really nice to listen to. But for someone that likes stories, I prefer listening to something that will give me the full context. But yeah. I mean, I gotta say the English localization isn't bad compared to some other things I've seen, but because I know Korean and Japanese, it's like, do I really need to listen to it in English when I know that there are some missed information? Because that was one of the problems I had with Blue Archive, is that because there's no voice, I can't tell what's actually missing. And it's not like I could play it in Japanese and in Korean, because then I'm gonna have to translate everything for the entire stream. So it's like, if that's the case, since I understand the language, it's probably better if I just listen to it in its original language, Korean, or in Japanese, or just switch around between Japanese and Korean, so I can actually get the original context and understanding of the characters too. But yeah, that's kind of my dilemma. But at the same time, I really do like the English voices. Like the English voice actors do a really great job, so I really like it. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. Like the voice actors do such a good job that it can make me feel really sad when it's a sad moment. But then it's like, I need all the full information to fully comprehend the story. So if anything, like if I were to listen to something in English or see it, then I'd rather just listen to it offline of the same scenes I've already experienced, just experience the English voice acting, if anything. The word of Korean and English is completely different, so it's hard to convey and translate the full meaning. Yeah, it's basically rearranging, but then they also miss words in the English text, which is the problem. Like if it was just only rearranging, then I would have no problems with that because I'm used to that at that point. But if they're actually missing information in the actual text, then it's like, oh, that's kind of that's kind of bad. Let's see. Hello, I hope you're enjoying the Nikke experience. I sure am. Do I prefer language for specific Nikke VAs? I don't know. How did the Dorothy Snow White conversation Korean go differently? Well, they put a lot more emphasis into who they are as a group. Like the English text, it doesn't really put that emphasis as much or as hard as the actual, like what they're actually saying in Korean. Like in Korean, it was kind of a shocking, or I guess it was high intense emotional situation scene, so I don't remember everything clearly at this point right now. But the text itself doesn't, like, there is some emphasis in it, okay? So I'm sure if it was English voice, then they would just read what was said in the text, and they would probably put in a lot more emphasis in the voice acting for it. But it's a lot more moving, emotionally driven with the amount of emphasis they put into what they're saying in the Korean, which made it more impactful than what was written in the text. So that's what I noticed. I'm not saying that people who play English voice acting should not use it, because the voices are great. If you only know English, then go for it. But if you know the original language, Korean, or if you know Japanese, then it'll probably be better to go for those so you can understand and get all the information that might not necessarily be there in the, English text. So just be aware that I do like the English VAs. So don't think that I don't like it. I do love it. They do an amazing job. And it's great for those that can't speak the other languages, so don't worry about that. Story's all good. And maybe some of those information are things that you don't really need to care about much, but I'm just the type that likes to get the full context of what they were trying to say in the story, which is why I prefer playing in the original language. So don't worry about that. It just bothers me personally as the one that knows the original language and then has to read the English text, or my viewers have to read the English text to understand what's going on. Which is what I'm saying is the difference between them, so that you guys are kind of aware of it. But yeah, what do we want to do more? I'm not sure if maybe I should just switch between Korean and Japanese from now on, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so let's keep going. I mean, as a non-speaker, I did feel the Korean Japanese dub was more emotional. On why? I think it's because it's probably maybe like the sound director too. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen the English one, obviously, but the language itself, maybe it's just the way that they emphasize certain words. It's probably the same thing, perhaps, but who knows? That's just how I feel. Like I said, for those that can only play in English, or if you just prefer English, then go for it. It doesn't really matter. Both are all good. But if you know the original, then I feel like there's something wrong with going for the original so you get more of the actual information that might be missing in the English one, because that is sometimes a case of it being like that.
다들 짐은 다 챙기셨나요?
그래, 짐이래봐야 검 한 자루와 씨앗뿐이네만.
나도 준비 완료다.
예, 저도 끝났어요.
I play Japanese. I don't mind listening to it in another language. I'm a Latin American person. We used to have great dub actors within unions, and working with US companies haven't. We have stopped now. Oh. I don't really know the situation with the English VAs much, since I prefer watching Korean stuff and Japanese stuff, but how interesting. English VAs are quite amazing though, because English as a language, it's a very artistic language, mostly because it's derived from Latin. But at the same time, in some ways, I think it's very hard to express certain emotions with one word, if that makes sense. Like in Korean and Japanese, there are some words that might convey two emotions at the same time, but maybe not for English, or it's very difficult to find words that really express it. So double pace, I think I understand what you mean by it's harder to express in English, mostly because it's like that. The four Nikkes look around without speaking.
감사해.
This is a very bittersweet moment.
가자.
가죠. 가요.
가죠, 도로시님.
Everyone starts to walk.
흩어지는 편이 좋겠어요.
No, don't split up.
그래, 우리의 목적은 랩처의 수장인 퀸을 잡는 것.
I mean, okay.
지상은 넓고 찾을 것은 많네. 흩어지는 편이 이득일 테지.
Or, you know, it could cause issues.
연락 수단은 어떻게 할까요?
봉화를 사용하자. 지금은 그것 말고는 수단이 없어.
거 너무 원시적이지 않나?
I mean, at least it works, right?
다음에 만날 땐 무전기나 핸드폰을 구해놓도록 하겠다.
부탁하지.
Oh boy, okay.
얘기가 나와서 말인데 한 달에 한 번 정해진 좌표에서 다 같이 만나는 건 어떨까요?
I was gonna say, like, how are they gonna know when to meet? But I guess this is how they're gonna decide. English as a language is more actually 3 different languages glued together with bits from other languages, which gives you a ton of artistic freedom expressing things, but also difficult. Yeah, that's what I think. Like, for writing, English is very beautiful as a language, like when you're expressing yourself artistically. But when you're like just speaking, it's also kind of difficult to like fully express what you're saying. I wish they wouldn't. Why can't they just like partner up? Why do they need to be separated one by one instead?
정보도 공유하고 서로 안부도 확인할 겸.
좋다.
예, 좋은 생각 같네요. 그럼 여러분,
Don't go, Dorothy. You're not in the right mindset right
이제
now.
헤어질 시간이에요.
No,
리더로서 한 가지 당부드리고 싶은 게 있어요.
no. Stay together. At least partner up. No, you don't have to be. You don't have to split up individually. Why? Why must you split?
다들 서두르지 말아요. 우리에게 시간은 많아요. 시간은 우리 편이자 우릴 바스러지게 할 적이기도 해요. 그러니 퀸을 쫓는다는 큰 목적은 유지한 채 무슨 일이라도 해요. 농사를 짓든 죽은 이들의 고향을 찾아주든 맛있는 음식을 먹든 절대 자신을 잃지 말아요.
걱정 말게.
알겠어요.
그래.
그리고 자부심을 잃지 말아요. 절대로. 자, 그럼 저희 먼저 가볼게요.
No, don't go. I'm worried about you. I'm seriously worried about you.
가요, 피나. 응? 피나?
Oh no. Dorothy stares towards the guard post. Oh no, no. Oh my gosh. Why?
피나! 안 오고 뭐해요?
도로시, 피나는
홍련,
Snow White shakes her head.
피나가 뭔가를 두고 온 모양이네요. 다들 먼저 가요. 저는 피나를 데리고 갈게요.
No. No. Please don't leave her.
폼 잡으면서 할 말은 다 했는데 저희가 제일 늦게 출발하겠네요.
Why can't they stay together at least for a few days?
그래. 먼저 간다.
No! No!
다들 죽지 말게.
No, no, what's wrong with you guys? You know that she's not in the right mindset.
다음 달에 뵈어요.
No. Just, no. No. The three Nikkes walk off into the distance. Why on earth would you leave like that? Dorothy starts to walk back to the guard post.
피나, 뭐 하고 있어요? 어서 가요.
Why did they leave?
이제 여기서 우리가 할 수 있는 일은 없어요.
도로시님, 그냥 이곳에 있으면 안 돼요?
예?
여기 봐요. 우리가 보수한 건물들이랑 우리가 만든 식기들.
Oh no.
우리가 만든 무덤, 우리가 만든 텃밭이 있어요. 모두 우리가 만든 거예요.
피나, 아쉬운 건 알겠는데 우린
도로시님, 여기가 우리 낙원이에요.
낙원이라고요?
슬픈 기억, 즐거운 기억 모두 남아있는 우리만을 위한 장소라고요. 이곳이 낙원이 아니면 뭐겠어요? 도로시님, 저한테 약속하셨죠? 저를 낙원에 데려가 준다고. 그럼 여기 있어요. 저는 도로시님과 함께 있고 싶어요. 이곳에서 도로시님과 함께 있는 그곳이 제 낙원인걸요.
피나,
안 되나요?
No. No.
안 될 것 없죠? 예. 여기가 우리 낙원이니까.
Are you kidding me?
스밍은 해보겠다.
Pink-haired girls. Why on earth do you need to be so traumatized? Why? Why is it always pink-haired girls? Why can't it be, I don't know, black-haired girls, brown-haired girls, orange, blonde, I don't even know anymore. Blue, green, every single color under the rainbow. The two Nikkes spent some time in their self-made paradise.
도로시님, 이건 어때요?
예쁜 천이네요. 근데 이걸 어디에 쓰죠?
뭐 장식이라도 할 수 있지 않을까요?
그럼 분홍색으로 모아주시겠어요?
예, 그럴 것 같았어요.
Dorothy and Penis scavenged the area for anything of value.
이거 간 좀 봐주시겠어요?
좀 짠 것 같은데요?
그렇죠. 역시 기분 탓이 아니었어요.
레시피대로 한 거 맞으시죠?
레시피가 좀 별론 것 같아서 제가 임의로 좀...
레시피는 괜히 레시피가 아니라고 생각해요.
They cook things that are actually worthy of being called food.
도로시님, 이거 보세요. 시들어버렸네요.
뭐가 문제였던 걸까요?
햇빛일 수도 있고 물이 너무 많거나 적었을 수도 있고 짐작 가는 게 너무 많네요.
Let me go to the bathroom real quick. Thank you for waiting.
농사는 어렵네요.
Ugh, farming is really tough. Actually, gardening and farming is really tough. Although I think I'm getting the hang of it. My basil hasn't died yet, which is probably a good thing. Hi, 7th Commander. Thank you for the welcome back.
괜찮아요. 다시 하면 되니까.
예, 다시 해요.
There's something nice about planting things. Makes me feel like I'm touching grass.
시간은 우리 편이니까요.
Thank you for the gift membership, DM Kale. Welcome to the membership, you. They do some gardening. Ah, that was the term. Gardening. I suck at gardening though. I think I killed a cactus within like 3 days when I was younger.
도로시님은 떠나간 모든 분들을 기억하나요?
모두 기억하지는 못해요. 그래서 항상 미안하죠.
저는 도로시님의 기억에 남을 수 있을까요?
I think she'll permanently remember you.
아니요.
How does that happen? I think I gave it too much water. When I was in middle school.
피나는 절대 내 곁을 떠나지 않을 테니까요. 제가 그렇게 두지 않을 거예요.
But it already.
방금 엄청 멋졌다는 거 아나요?
그런가요?
They pray for those who had passed before their time.
릴리스님은 어떤 분이셨나요?
글쎄요. 한마디로 표현하기 참 힘든 분이셨죠. 강한 듯 하면서도 나약하고 단호한 듯 하면서도 물러터졌고 잔혹한 듯 하면서도 자비롭고 냉정한 듯 하면서도 따뜻한.
Sounds like a good leader.
굉장히 인간적인 분이셨어요.
보고 싶진 않나요?
보고 싶지 않아요. 그녀는 원하던 모든 것을 이루고 떠나갔어요. 다 끝내고 이곳에 잠들어 있는 거죠. 그러니 그 다음은 보고 싶지 않네요.
이 관은 여러분이 직접 만드신 건가요?
예. 홍련이 매끈한 돌을 직접 잘랐어요. 피나의 관도 만들어달라고 하려 했는데
Oh, is she like slowly accepting? Dorothy turns her head. No one is there. Okay, so it's abrupt. Wow, that's gonna be tough on her really badly. Oh gosh.
그래.
I guess now she's accepting.
그랬었구나. 고마워요. 피나.
Oh.
무너지지 않게 계속 옆에 있어준 거군요.
Okay. Obviously she's still traumatized and still hurt, but she's taking the steps to at least accept about what happened. I mean, clearly it's not. It's the step towards the right direction, but obviously she hasn't reached a point where she can fully recover, because that usually takes time. And grief is something that takes time, and that doesn't happen just with a snap of fingers. It's just
고마워요. 절대 잊지 않을게요. 잠깐만요.
Maybe that's why subconsciously she decided to stay here, at least until she reaches a stage where her mind is ready to accept what happened. And it doesn't mean that she got over it, but it clearly means that she's in a mental state where she can at least accept what happened. But it's a relief that she didn't get the mind switch, considering the fact that usually it's like that. As much as she has accepted it, now she has no one to grieve with. That's true.
그럼 본격적인 수업을 시작하겠습니다.
But I do wonder if... I mean, I think it depends on the person if
저 쩔었죠?
they need people around them to grieve with them or not. But she's clearly still traumatized, so whether she recovers from it or not is something that I'm not sure yet. I feel like it'll be difficult though, considering that she doesn't really have a therapist, nor does she have people around her. So that doesn't make it any better. So it could be that she gets worse from here, or she continues to be the same. 3 days later. Dorothy is unable to take a single step away from the guard post. To her, this place is paradise. The original paradise she had dreamed of was not to be, and so she had found another to take its place. This place, which she and all those dear to her had built, becomes her sanctuary, her paradise. The garden, the gravesite, the entire facility itself. It had all been an effort for her to make it all seem more permanent. Dorothy can't remove herself from this self-proclaimed paradise. She's too attached to it. Another 10 days passed. So that means 13 days have already passed. And still she was unable to take a single step outside. Okay, so in the end she got worse. Okay. The threshold at the entrance of the facility is an insurmountable obstacle for her. She stands in front of it for hours on end, before turning and retreating back inside the guard post.
여기서 뭐 하고 있어요? 빨리 가요.
A voice comes to her for the last time. Dorothy turns around and walks past the threshold. She keeps walking. Unlike her friends, she has no clear purpose. Guiding the dead and ensuring them safe passage. Witnessing the birth of new life with her own eyes. Wanting to destroy the root of all evil. Dorothy has none of that conviction. The only purpose in her life had been to find paradise. Oh boy. I think the main problem here is that she's lost. And for those who actually had goals and met them too early, you kind of reach this like state in your life where you just don't know what to do and you're just kind of drifting until you finally find a purpose that will have you put your energy and time into. And I think for her, she just never thought beyond that goal. And because of that, since she had technically finished her role or her goal, there was nothing else for her. She's just drifting at this point, and with the trauma, that obviously makes it worse too. But paradise was lost. There was now no reason for her to move forward or at all. she has always been a beacon of hope too. But deep down, she was always hollow. Dorothy stops in her tracks, taking in her surroundings.
이렇게 아름답고 넓은데 내가 있을 곳은 아무 곳에도 없구나.
Yeah, I think once she finds her own, like her actual like purpose, that she decides herself or a goal or whatever. The goal example is just merely a way to relate to her in our own lives, but for her, I think she needs to find her own purpose in order to not be drifting in life like this. Or at least, who knows? She has new purpose, but well, I don't think so, because she's only like this because she has nothing. Like, sure, they have to destroy the queen, but that's not her true purpose, like what she actually wants to do herself. Dorothy's eyes stop at a sign. Humanity's last paradise. The Ark welcomes you. A wave of nausea rolls over her. Her vision begins to blur. But she manages to pull herself together and continues to look around. All around her, flowers bloom and butterflies flutter in the air. Blades of grass sway in the gentle breeze. Dorothy looks up at the sky. The crystal clear sky above is dotted with pristine white clouds. And obviously, because of what she experienced and, you know, the grief, she's probably depressed right now. Which is why it's interesting that, you know, the visuals are also showing, you know, her viewpoint, which is the lack of colors until she reached this spot. The things that bothered her, or the things that stood out to her. Golden rays of sunlight streams through as if blessing all those who bathed in its glow. It's a nice day out. No, a perfect day. Oh, okay. It seems like she will be the type who will fall into her own darkness. The negative feelings and thoughts that she has, she's probably drowning in it and making that her purpose, perhaps. Humanity's last paradise, the Ark welcomes you. It probably feels like it's mocking her at the same time. Oh my gosh.
거짓말. 거짓말쟁이들.
They are all liars.
이 거짓말쟁이들! 미안해요. 모두. 저는 안 될 것 같아요.
Dorothy glares at the sign. Her eyes burn bright, but the luster that shone in the past was long gone.
빼앗아주겠어. 우리가 만들어낸 그 낙원. 반드시 빼앗아주겠어. 그건 원래 우리 것이었으니까.
I guess I thought the challenge was story 3. Well, in any case, I believe there was something at the end, right? Of the hard mode? Or is that something else? So there is the end. Okay. So then I'll get through this. Quick battle. Oh.
토끼씨, 우리가 이겼대요. 골투와 나의 승리니라.
Let me do this real quick.
골투와 나의 승리니라. 토끼씨, 우리가 이겼대요. 토끼씨,
Almost there.
거래 그날 약쇼요.
This is great. Thank goodness for the quick battle.
토끼씨, 우리가 이겼대요. 쌤 봤어요? 저 쩔었죠? 쌤 봤어요?
We're close.
쩔었죠? 골투와 나의 승리니라.
Okay, this is it.
아키라메나사이.
시작하겠습니다.
Red Ash. I'm probably gonna get through. I'm not sure what the next stream will be, but I will be playing more of the main story on my own.
잠시만요,
I
쌤.
think over the weekend-ish or next week. And then I guess maybe I'll set up a next stream. Oh yeah, I know I have to do White Memories. Don't worry, that's gonna be after this.
쌤 봤어요? 저
I'm not sure if
쩔었죠?
I should set up a stream for an event soon, but I guess we'll see. What chapter am I on? I think I have finished chapter 7. I have to start chapter 8 for the main story. I will not be recording my playthroughs that are offline, mostly because I only want to stream and have the recordings of the things that people really want to see, like the fan favorite parts and the supposedly stream-worthy things. Those are the only things that you guys will get to see. I will be messaging a lot in the Discord while I play it, if there's anything for me to say, but I'll do that. And then I might do like a Ask Me Anything type of video, like a very casual one. So if you have like questions that you want me to answer, and there are a lot of them, then I'll answer it there. I won't show my gameplay, but I can talk about such things. Mostly because this way I have more time to create video essays for this game, and having to record playthrough is going to just take more time out of me. But thankfully, a lot of the people in my Discord, and I believe in the last VOD that I had previously released, I did write down all the things that people have told me, like which events to stream and which chapters, main chapters to stream later. There will be a part 1 Dorothy video essay set to release, I think, end of this month. Yeah, I pinned it on the Nikke channel so that I'll know and remember. So I will be releasing any video essays that I find will be interesting to talk about with all of you, to promote more, I guess, to promote more conversations and discussions about characters and how it relates to real life. But yeah, I'll see. I think next one will be Scarlet, and then maybe Dorothy after that, because this Overzone event did have a lot of content that I wanted to talk about. So I think, I mean, it'll obviously be like a kind of like a ongoing series kind of thing where I play a certain part of the game and then create a video essay based on what I have played so far. So it might not be like super up to date because of that. But I hope that way you guys will get a more intricate, I guess, understanding of my thoughts about certain characters and how I feel about the story too. Let's see, I shall... Can we have a Miracle Snow event stream for Christmas? I'll have to see if that's one of the ones set or in the list in Discord. So I'll have to check. But maybe we can do it. I'll have to see how it goes.
괜찮으신가요?
구해주셔서 감사합니다. 갑자기 여기서 로드컵이 튀어나올 줄은 몰랐어요. 스쿼드가 전멸하고 혼자만 꾸역꾸역 살아서 여기까지 왔더니 이게 뭔...
If you're doing mostly video essays, does that mean you already started Old Tales? Nope, I have not. Just to make it clear, all the event stuff will probably just be done by stream, at least the ones that you guys tell me to do. Either that or I'm gonna be leaving the other events alone until I catch up on the main story. So just FYI about that. So I'm not like, because I have several other games, so I'm kind of doing it in rotation right now based on which video essay I have to create next.
그런데 당신은 누구... 설마 당신이 그 소문의 필그림?
이제 필그림이라는 이름이 방주에서는 거의 공식처럼 쓰이나 보군요.
예, 요즘 당신에 대한 소문이 무성해요. 그냥 전설 비슷한 건 줄 알았는데 실제로 만나다니 너무 감격이네요.
저도 만나서 반가워요. 지상에 올라온 니케분을 만나는 건 되게 오랜만인 것 같은데. 실례가 안 된다면 요즘 방주가 어떻게 돌아가고 있는지 좀 들을 수 있을까요? 제가 방주에 관심이 많거든요.
그럼요, 들려드려야죠.
Are you going to continue streaming on YouTube? Yes. So all streams will now be done on YouTube, but also because I'm doing it on YouTube, I'm only scheduling streams and will only be streaming the stuff from all the games that are stream worthy, fan favorites, that kind of stuff. Because it's a pain to do a random stream on YouTube since it treats it like a video. So I need to do it like by certain focuses and whatnot, which is why this one is Overzone finale.
목숨을 구해주신 분한테 그 정도쯤 아무것도 아니죠.
고마워요. 그렇군요. 방주 관리 AI가 너무 위험하다고 판단돼서 그 카운터를 준비하고 있다고요?
예, 비밀리에 진행하고는 있다는데 이미 알 사람들은 다 알아요. 그도 그럴 게 방주에 두뇌라 불리는 사람들을 다 포섭하고 다니는걸요?
가장 유력한 후보는 누군가요?
글쎄요, 저도 그것까진 잘...
그런가요? 그럼 제 개인 회선을 알려드릴 테니 뭔가 알게 되면 연락 주시겠어요?
예? 그래도 되나요?
Ah, she's being used.
그럼요. 아, 하지만 저는 비밀 임무 수행 중이니까 저를 만났다는 건 꼭 비밀로 해주세요.
물론입니다. 뇌 스캔이라도 할 것 같으면 뇌를 태워버리죠 뭐.
Okay.
그렇게까지 해주실 건 없어요.
아니요. 당신은 우리의 우상입니다. 방주에서 갓데스에 대한 얘기를 듣는 것이 유일한 낙이었어요. 그리고 여러분이 인류를 위해 뭘 했는지도 아주 잘 알고 있어요. 거기다 제 목숨까지 구해주셨으니 제가 할 수 있는 거라면 뭐든 하겠습니다.
그런가요? 고마워요. 방주 최고.
Oh boy.
지상으로 끌어올릴 수 있는 방법이 없을까?
도로시,
스노우 화이트?
오랜만이다.
예, 오랜만이에요. 몇 년 만이죠? 50년 정도?
그 정도 된 것 같군.
제가 여기 있는 줄은 어떻게 알았나요?
계속 찾았으니까.
그렇군요. 그래서 무슨 일이죠?
왜 한 번도 우리를 만나러 오지 않았지?
그거야 바쁘니까요.
방주의 정보를 모아서 뭘 어쩌겠다는 거냐?
Oh.
알고 있군요.
우리도 방주의 소식을 듣고 있으니까. 방주에 지대한 관심을 보이고 있는 필그림이 있다는 얘기가 종종 들려왔다. 너일 거라 생각은 했지만. 뭐가 목적이냐, 도로시?
빼앗으려고요?
방주를?
예.
도로시,
아, 물론 서들어가서 뭘 어쩌겠다는 건 아니에요. 방주가 저를 찾게 만들 거예요. 저를 원하게 만들 거예요.
Oh no, she went down the worst path possible. Oh, great. Why? It doesn't.
왜?
우리가 방주를 만들었고 방주가 우릴 배신했으니까요. 우릴 배신한 것들이 다시 우리를 찾게 된다면
Wow, wow. Oh boy. The goddess squad should have stuck together no matter what. Oh, yeah, well, at least she did find her goal. Not that it's a very good goal, but alas, at least she's not drifting like before. Maybe.
그것만큼 유쾌한 게 또 있을까요?
Goodness sake.
그걸 위해서라면 방주의 모든 것을 이용할 거예요. 이용? 아니네요. 그건 원래 우리 거였으니까.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Ah, gosh darn it.
변했구나.
스노우 화이트는 여전히 그대로인 것 같네요. 몸은 비명을 지르고 있는 것 같지만 아직도 인류를 위해 지상을 떠돌아다니고 있나요?
그래. 네가 우리에게 새겨준 그 긍지.
아, 지루해라.
Ah.
어디 뭐 재밌는 거 없나?
She really doesn't care anymore.
돌아가겠다.
I think Snow White's extremely disappointed in her.
아, 스노우 화이트. 갓데스라는 이름을 쓰지 않는 것 같던데 왜죠?
Well, considering what you said about, oh, don't say that anymore, it's so boring. Well, yeah, why are you asking that, huh? In any case, she's clearly very bitter about what happened and is obsessed with, you know, sticking to that emotion
당연한 거다.
at this point.
네가 없으면 우린 갓데스가 아니니까. 우린 기다리고 있겠다. 네가 다시 돌아올 때까지.
Snow White disappears.
기다리지 말아요. 스노우 화이트. 저는 이미 돌아갈 수 없는 선을 넘어버렸으니까.
So what on earth did you do? That's too late. Overzone end. What the? Okay, let's see. White memory.
움직여드리죠.
Oh, why couldn't they stay with her? You know, that would have been better. Then she wouldn't have gone down this route instead of this is what happens when you're alone and you don't let anyone in or... Okay, that's totally fine. Let's keep going. Snow White pulls out her weapon. She recalls the time Dorothy came to see her. We need food. We need to get the electricity back on, and we also need drinking water. We need to repair the equipment that's been damaged, and we need more ammunition. Well, if anything, they could have just done like 2x2, like partner up. Like they didn't need to go individually. They could have had at least one person by each side. Like Snow White could have been with, or Rapunzel could have been with Dorothy, and then Snow White could have been with Scarlet. Like, you know. At the very least, it would have been better than if she was alone. So that's why. Oh, but whatever, it's fine. She's villain, so that's the route that she's gonna be. I mean, even if they don't know how to deal with her, being with her is a lot more better than, you know, 5 is odd number, can't do 2x2. Wait. Rapunzel, Dorothy, Scarlet, Snow White, Peanut. Oh, I don't know anymore. We need to repair the equipment that's been damaged, and we need more ammunition. There isn't any more food, and we've lost all contact with the Ark. The waves of raptures are endless. I've lost several of my squad mates, and those that remain are mentally broken. The situation is hopeless. Leaving the guard post when things are so dire may not seem ideal. But I have to go. I need to secure us more supplies. Dorothy. The leader would have wanted that. Snow White finishes cleaning all of her weapons, outfits herself, and stands. She finishes the last sentence in her journal entry, detailing the preparations for her exploration. Off we go. She sets off into the great unknown. Ooh. Okay, so start search. Forked road. Snow White is trying to decide where to go to secure the resources that Dorothy entrusted her with. Forest. Snow White approaches the forest. Despite the seemingly endless I need to look at the iPad. Despite the seemingly endless internecine conflict between man and raptures, the forest remains a bastion of life. As Snow White gazes upon the forest, a deer suddenly leaps into view. Shoot with anti-ship rifle, shoot with ordinary rifle. Tendrils of flame belch out of the rifle's muzzle, and the deer is blown apart in a burst of arterial spray. It's only then that Snow White realizes how fragile a deer is. Having newly discovered the fragility of ungulates, Snow White decides to walk around the woods and find alternative hunting tools. I'm so bad at one thing, and that is luck and choosing it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. If you ever let it go, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, my mother said to pick the best one, you are not it. I will proceed straight! Walking forward, Snow White discovers a wooden cabin. She heads inside to look for any useful items. The cabin is entirely bereft of food and supplies, but Snow White can ascertain from the antlers hanging on the wall and the bear skin on the floor that a hunter resided here. Scrawled directly on the table in red are the words, "Don't be the prey." Snow White turns and heads back into the forest. Having newly discovered the fragility of ungulates, okay. I guess turn right. On the right, the ground is covered with mushrooms that have brilliant red patterns. No, if it's red! Snow White begins to pick the mushrooms. She wonders if she should do a taste test before bringing them to her colleagues. Do we poison ourselves or do we not poison ourselves? Let's poison ourselves. Snow White feels somewhat hesitant about sharing food with others that hasn't been tested. She puts a mushroom in her mouth. Suddenly, a white fog envelops her. A female figure can be made out amongst the fog. It is someone whose face she has longed to see for some time. Snow White, someone calls out. Snow White opens her eyes. The white fog has dissipated after making sure she hasn't sustained any injuries. Snow White realizes something. The mushroom she ate made her hallucinate. Snow White contemplates if she should eat the mushroom again, although she can't explain why exactly she wants to see that woman in her hallucination again. After hesitating for a while, Snow White decides to not eat the mushroom. No matter how badly she wants to see that woman, falling into a hallucination is a risky proposition. She puts the mushrooms down and heads out of the forest. Having newly discovered that fragility, okay, we got that. Turn left! On the left, Snow White sees a chain link fence. She walks towards it, intending to snip it into several parts that could be used to make traps. She approaches a metal fence and sees a corpse draped over the top of it. The body is clothed in a camouflage outfit and carrying a bow and backpack. Snow White cuts down the metal fence and sets the corpse on the floor. Metal wire. Strand of metal wire clipped from the fence. It is old enough to have begun gathering moss, but could still be used to craft something. The duffel bag contains electrical wires, a phone, dry rations, a pail, and a map. Snow White looks at the book and arrow. These weapons, along with the camouflage, might prove useful for hunting. She contemplates whether she should take them. Take everything. Snow White apologizes and takes the dry food, a bow and arrow, and camouflage outfit. She must survive for the sake of her colleagues. If that means benefiting from someone else's death, then so be it. Hunting equipment. Until their dying moment, this hunter never imagined that they would end up as the prey. Snow White prepares to hunt. She starts to set up a trap using the metal wire she got from the fence. Being proficient with crafting, she succeeds in making a trap and resumes her hunting once again. Trap made by Snow White. Once a deer steps into the trap, it has no chance of extricating itself. Snow White returns to the spot where she saw the deer and sets the trap. The bleats of a deer can be heard in the distance. She decides to hide behind a tree and watch. To conceal herself, Snow White covers herself with leaves, wear the camouflage outfit. The deer is fooled by Snow White's camouflage and comes closer. The moment its foot is clamped by the trap, Snow White shoots it with an arrow. Snow White captures the prey, or captures the deer. Looking forward to the delicious dinner she'll be having that night, she returns to the post in good spirits. Oh. Nice. Achieve ending. I guess I have to do this again? Oh, now I can try the other choices. Okay, we got that. Shoot with the anti-ship rifle. Tendrils of flame belch out of the anti-ship rifle's muzzle. However, as the flames die down, the deer is nowhere to be found. The shot also attracts raptures and Snow White is forced into a confrontation. The sounds of the battle only attract more raptures. It takes everything for Snow White to subdue the threat. In the end, she goes back to the post empty-handed. So sad. Okay. Don't taste. The mushrooms are bad news, so she puts them down, heads out of the forest. Keep going. This time we'll eat the mushroom. After ingesting some more of the mushrooms, Snow White sees two flowers amidst the fog. One is white, and the other is red. Which one should she follow? White flower. Snow White heads towards the white flower and sees a white figure. The faceless figure asks, "Can you see me?" No. Snow White stumbles over a tree stump and tumbles to the ground. After waking up from her hallucination, Snow White still wants to see that face that may or may not be a figment of her imagination. So she eats some mushrooms again. No matter how many mushrooms Snow White ingests, the face she longs to see remains forever indistinct. Snow White spends the entire day lost in meaningless reveries. Oh boy. I guess I have to get all the endings. Let's try turning left. Put down the bag and leave. Snow White doesn't want her survival to come at the expense of someone else's life, so she decides to put down all the hunting props and leave. Okay, covers herself with leaves. The unwieldy camouflage does not fool the deer. Just as it was about to approach the trap, it widens its eyes and flees the scene. Snow White watches in desperation as the escaping deer slowly disappears into the distance. No matter how long Snow White waits in hiding, the deer doesn't return. The trap she made only manages to catch a few small woodland critters. With the small animals in tow, Snow White trudges back towards the post. I'm close. Okay, we'll do that. Turn right. Paste. Eat. Red flower. Snow White heads towards the red flowers and hears the buzz of a radio. An old song is being played. Someone can be heard humming along to the song. They sound homesick. I bet the white flower girl is Lilywise, I think that was her name, and the red one is probably Red Ash. Or Red Hood. Red Hood. I don't know why I keep saying Red Ash. I think it's because I keep seeing the Red Ash event name everywhere. It just trips me up. Oh, there it is, Red Hood. Suddenly, a long forgotten memory comes rushing back to her. She used to listen to songs with Red Hood, who loved old songs. Hello, little one. Snow White was in a terrible mood that day. So many of those, why is it going so fast? Oh, thank goodness I could go back up. Snow White was in a terrible mood that day. So many of those close to her had lost their lives. Snow White could never forget their eyes as they died, filled with fear and a hint of relief. As the music continues to play, Snow White walks up to Red Hood. Why do you look so solemn, little one? You're going to give yourself wrinkles if you keep scrunching up your face like that, Red Hood says with a grin. Stop doing that. Take a look at this. Red Hood brings the radio closer. It is playing a song about missing one's hometown. It's an old guitar-centric pop song, which didn't suit the battlefield at all. This song is nice, right? This is what music's all about. Red Hood attempts to coax Snow White. Want to try singing it? Did Snow White sing with her back then? She can't remember. That's more like it, you dork. You act like an old geezer. Really? Red Hood's laughter and the music are the only sounds that linger in Snow White's ears. Snow White trips over a tree stump. She wakes from her hallucination and sees a tent, broken radio, and a cassette tape near the tree stump that she tripped over. Snow White keeps the cassette tape and begins humming the song she heard in her hallucination. Oh, the hometown I long for. The friends I miss. Even if the sky above us is forever gray, we'll return to our hometown someday. Cassette tape. An old cassette tape containing an old pop song that Red Hood was particularly fond of. Humming along with the song brings back waves of nostalgia. Perhaps that's why Red Hood was such a fan of this tune. Now we can do it! Riverbank. Scarlet appears before Snow White, who's on her way to explore the riverbank. Dost thou intend on rusticating by the riverside? Prithee, allow me to accompany you. Snow White nods. Scarlet is excited about getting to see some fish, which she hasn't seen in a while. Do you know how to fish? Oh, yes, no. I wish I did, but I don't. But sure. Snow White answers yes, so Scarlet tells her to try making a fishing rod. Given thou dost intend on fabricating a fishing rod, I shall search for a suitable piece of wood. Scarlet begins looking for wood nearby and asks Snow White how long the tree branch should be cut. Tell her to cut it shorter. Tell her to cut it longer. Scarlet brings over a branch with the perfect length. Snow White is very satisfied. To make the fishing rod, she rummages through her pockets, takes out the metal wire she has with her. Snow White is good with her hands, and she manages to make a fishing rod using the metal wire and the tree branch. The two head to the river to begin fishing. Snow White uses the fishing rod, passes the fishing rod to Scarlet. Snow White stands by the river with the fishing rod she has made. She closes her eyes and tries to sense the movements of the fish. A long time passes, but nothing happens. Snow White, whose eyes are closed, can feel Scarlet nodding off behind her. The fish also seem to have fallen asleep as nothing is biting the rod. Gosh darn. A fishing rod made from metal wire and a branch cut by Scarlet is surprisingly durable and will hook all manner of fish with ease. I will get those fishies! No. Snow White answers no, so Scarlet says she'll personally make a fishing rod for Snow White. We shall require wood if we are to fashion a fishing rod. I'll look for some. Snow White looks... Oh, I'll look for some. Snow White looks around and fires her rifle at a tree that looks to be the right size. The tree sways a few times before collapsing on a pile of nearby rocks.
I only required but a few tree branches.
Oh. Oops. The sight of Snow White obliterating the tree makes Scarlet feel slightly uneasy, but she feels somewhat reassured upon seeing how embarrassed Snow White seems for her slip-up. Scarlet runs over to fetch some branches from the fallen tree. However, Scarlet is unable to make a fishing rod due to her poor crafting skills. Feeling embarrassed, Scarlet says she'll try to fish with her sword, says she'll search the pile of rocks. Scarlet stands by the river with her sword and lightly swings it to the fish lethargically swimming by.
Whoops.
The fish is cut in two and floats to the surface of the water.
I don't believe there is validity to this idea yet. I shall swing it properly this time.
Scarlet adjusts her stance as she stands at the riverbank. Snow White is filled with a renewed sense of hope that they'll actually catch a bevy of fish. And her eyes sparkle. However, as Scarlet swings her swords with full force, the river is dyed a dreadful red as all the fish are sliced and diced. Both Scarlet and Snow White stare at the massacre suddenly and return to the post without a word. They could have just grabbed the half-cut fish and just said, oh yeah, we totally cleaned the fish, yeah. Let's do the other path. Let's search the pile of rocks.
Perchance there are canned goods buried under these rocks. Hast thou considered this?
Snow White nods and begins rummaging through the rock pile. After they move away some rocks, some supplies hidden under the pile are gradually revealed. Really? Scarlet and Snow White exchange glances. Their hunch was right. Filled with a renewed sense of vigor, they begin lifting up more rocks. Just then, Snow White feels something. It's a parasol. While looking at it, a memory of Dorothy resurfaces. Back when humans lived on the surface and not in the Ark, Dorothy loved using the parasol that had been given to them as a gift. Supplies were plentiful then. Nikkes don't get tanned even if they're exposed to the sun, so Snow White was curious as to why Dorothy was using the parasol. Why do you use that thing anyway? It's not like we need it. With a smile, Dorothy answered her.
If I use this place won't feel as much like a battlefield. Instead, it'll feel more like a warm and sunny Eden.
Or Eden. No, Eden. Eden?
How should I put it? It makes me feel important. When the Ark is built, we'll all be sheltered safely under the same parasol.
Snow White couldn't make heads or tails of what Dorothy was saying. Will the Ark really become our Eden? No, it doesn't. When peace is restored, will the humans want us to stay under the same parasol as them? No, they don't. Of course. As Snow White stared at Dorothy, her expression was full of such hope for the future that she couldn't bring herself to refute her in any way. Eden? Okay. Eden it is. Oh, a parasol. Dorothy will be most smitten with this. Scarlet proclaims as she approaches Snow White. Snow White nods quietly. Both of them feel this will be the perfect gift for Dorothy, who's doing her best to be a fine leader. They bring the parasol back to the post. Oh, wait. How do I... Items, There we go. A parasol owned by someone who lived near the river long ago. Dorothy once said that using the parasol made her feel as if she was basking in the warmth of the sun. It would be an appropriate gift for Dorothy, who has to deal with the pressures of being a leader. Answer yes. Tell her to cut it shorter. Snow White notices the branch is shorter than she expected. Scarlet asks if it is what Snow White actually wanted. Snow White ponders if she should use the branch for something else. Snow White passes the branch to Scarlet and tells her to sharpen one end.
Dost thou intend on fashioning a fishing spear?
After a while, they end up with a decent fishing spear. fishing spear embeds itself in the bottom of the river. Alas, another miss. Snow White and Scarlet continue throwing their self-made spear with all their might. Every throw ends up with it either stuck in the riverbed from excess force or moving erratically due to the poor aim. Perhaps we should entertain the notion of returning to a fishing rod. As Snow White listens to Scarlet, she stares at the fish in the river. It swims away slowly as if mocking them. She manages to catch a huge fish with her bare hands. The fish Snow White is holding tries to writhe free from her grip. I had no idea thou art capable of such feats. I figured I'd give it a shot and it worked. Despite expending so much energy earlier, the thought of having a good meal later that night gives them both a second wind and they begin catching fish with their bare hands. Snow White fills the pail with fish and returns to the post with full of delight, discreetly wiping the drool forming on the edges of her mouth. How cute. Answer yes. Cut it longer. Rummages through her pockets. Snow White doesn't find anything she could use to make a fishing rod. She gives it some further thought and decides she can use the branch to make something else. Snow White passes the branch to Scarlet and tells her to sharpen one end. Dost thou intend on fashioning a fishing spear? After a while, they end up with a decent fishing spear. I guess, it's the same thing? Yeah, it's the same thing. And this is also the same thing. What am I missing? Answer yes. Color to cut it longer. Metal wire. Snow White is good with her hands. To head to the... Okay, so passes the fishing rod to Scarlet. Scarlet's surprised that Snow White handed the rod to her. As she lowers the rod into the water, she claims that Snow White won't regret entrusting her with it. Scarlet says that no fish will come if she doesn't move the rod, and claims they can only catch a big fish if they shake the rod. She begins shaking the rod as she speaks, and almost immediately they catch something. A pocket knife? Scarlet has caught a pocket knife. She hasn't seen anything like this in a long time and stares at it for long. Snow White recalls a memory with Scarlet from long ago. That day they were starving. Though they had succeeded in their mission, additional supplies were taking a long time to arrive as they were in a secluded place, difficult for humans to reach. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. To a food lover like Snow White, enduring hunger is the worst form of torture imaginable. Suddenly, Scarlet tosses a pocket knife at the birds flying by. Scarlet takes the fallen bird and passes it to Snow White. Prithee thou not be lost in melancholy. Grill this. The bird was tiny, but Snow White isn't concerned about whether it would be filling or not. Rather, she is shocked that Scarlet is willing to kill something merely because she is hungry. Snow White mutters, "This is so cruel," which causes Scarlet to laugh. So killing a tiny bird is cruel, but killing a bigger bird is perfectly okay? It's not like that. Do not allow thyself to be vexed thusly about death. All lives have to end. Scarlet's nonchalance prompts Snow White to ask another question. How about us? Will we die as well? Scarlet chuckles. Flowers are fleetly fading. All things eventually come to an end. Scarlet stared at her katana. This is the lesson she gave me when she became my blade. Flowers are fleetly fading. Oh, flowers are fleetly fading. Snow White utters, startling Scarlet. Thy memory of this still rings true? Snow White nods, sending a smile across Scarlet's face. Precisely. Nothing lasts forever, and we are no exception. With that, Scarlet hovers the rod over the river again. Behind her, Snow White stares at her quietly. pocket knife, which is from the same series as the one Scarlet carries. Staring at it, Snow White recalls what Scarlet once said: all things eventually come to an end. Endowed with the natural proficiency in melee combat, Scarlet is well versed in wielding edged weapons. In her hands, even a small pocket knife can become a deadly weapon. Next one. Rapunzel appears before Snow White, who's on her way to explore the church.
Come with me today. I've been to the suburb.
Snow White nods. Snow White and Rapunzel head to the outskirts and gaze at the structures demolished by raptures. They attempt to find a recognizable structure they can check out. Check out the factory. The factory seems to be a former refuge for the humans. Although some parts of the building have collapsed, there are some blankets and canned goods scattered around. Rapunzel and Snow White venture further into the factory. The inside of the factory is littered with all manner of supplies, but the cans of food are either emptied or spoiled. Everything else is unsalvageable. Snow White and Rapunzel want to continue looking for things they can use, so they break open a locked door and walk into a room where the curtains are closed.
What is this?
There are matches, extinguished candles, pictures of people hanging in the room. A line is written on the wall.
May you rest in peace. This must be a place where they mourn the dead.
The two look around for a while and leave after mourning for a short while. Rapunzel and Snow White light the candles with the matches on the floor and pray for a while. They then walk out of the room and open the locked door. When they break the locked door open and walk in, they see canned goods and other supplies all placed in a neat pile, although there aren't many of them. This must be a room that had been used as storage. Snow White and Rapunzel begin gathering up the canned goods. In the midst of their scavenging, Snow White discovers a book under the couch. Take the book. The book under the couch is a dirty magazine.
What is this?
Or is it... I can't tell if Snow White said that or Rapunzel. I guess it's Snow White that said it. Ugh, what is this? Rapunzel walks over and stares at the magazine.
Whoa! I thought the series ended already!
Her eyes gleam as she speaks. Snow White suddenly remembers a previously forgotten memory of her, Rapunzel and Red Hood.
What are you showing Snow White?
Rapunzel covers Snow White's eyes. Not being particular about her reading material, Red Hood has just passed a dirty magazine to Snow White. Rapunzel blushes and urges Red Hood to throw away the smut. Undeterred, Red Hood continues to tease Rapunzel with the racy magazine. While Snow White watches them argue, she realizes the animosity between Red Hood and Rapunzel has given way to real friendship. You're not the slightest bit shy about reading this kind of stuff?
Oh, you still remember that?
Snow White nods, while Rapunzel smiles.
How could I forget? After going through that, I don't think anyone else can make me feel embarrassed ever again.
Rapunzel takes the dirty magazine from Snow White.
I can read things even more salacious than this now. Red Hood would be shocked if she saw me now, wouldn't she? Actually, she's probably over the moon that she managed to influence me.
Rapunzel returns the magazine to Snow White.
I kept feeling like Red Hood was embarrassing me on purpose, so I was annoyed. But now I kind of miss it.
Rapunzel stops talking and begins collecting the rest of the scattered canned food. Meanwhile, Snow White watches her quietly. Oh wait, there was something. Red Hood's favorite magazine. It is a quarterly magazine featuring attractive, muscle-bound men and women in various states of undress. Rapunzel always went red in the face whenever she so much as glanced at the magazine, for which Red Hood always enjoyed teasing her. Now Red Hood is nowhere to be found, and those playful interactions are no more. Thinking of that evokes a sense of sorrow within Rapunzel. Okay, let's see. Continue the factory route. Break open a locked door. Leave the book alone. The two are elated as they didn't expect to find such a major haul. As Rapunzel looks at the canned goods, she remembers how the atmosphere at the post has been fairly gloomy lately. Dorothy has also been rather morose as well. Rapunzel suggests that they make some dishes and give everyone a pleasant surprise. Snow White agrees with this idea. Rapunzel begins cooking based on intuition. Rapunzel steps forward confidently, claiming she has always loved cooking even as a human. As Snow White watches Rapunzel, she feels a little anxious. An unknown substance boils in the pot. What was once delicious food is now a disastrous pile of black mush. It can no longer even be considered food. What in the world did you just put in there? I just made it the way I did before. Snow White's speechless. She snatches the final can of food before Rapunzel can destroy that as well and returns to the post. Yikes, girl. So how are you cooking it? Okay, we got that. Factory route. Locked door. Leave the book alone. Oh, we still can't. Walk into the closed room. Leave after morning for a short while. Leave the book alone. Okay. So I guess I should probably just go back. Check out the apartment buildings. Snow White and Rapunzel go to the apartment buildings to look for daily necessities. Most of them have been completely obliterated from rapture attacks. There are only 3 houses they can still enter. Snow White enters the house on the left. Walking into the house on the left, the two find the posters of the Ark and lots of lottery tickets scattered inside. The lottery tickets have "Try Again" printed on them. Amongst the pile, there is a cookbook. On the page's sentence such as, "Recipes anyone can learn. Become a master in your own kitchen today," can be made out. Rapunzel says it would be nice if they can find food and make some dishes to bring back to the post. Snow White asks Rapunzel if she needs the cookbook. Rapunzel says she needs it. "There's no harm in having a cookbook," Rapunzel says. Snow White agrees with her. Feeling they won't be able to find anything else in the house, they decide to check out the other houses. Snow White and Rapunzel go up to the, okay, we got that. Middle. They come to the house in the middle and see a bunch of empty cans piled up neatly in a corner of the empty room. It seems that someone else has been here. While most of the doors are either open or broken, they find one door that is tightly closed. They try opening the door, because I'm too curious. There's a bed in the room. On the bed lie 2 bodies, their fingers intertwined. Snow White and Rapunzel wordlessly look at the photo frame on the bedside table. A couple smiles happily in the picture. Seems like they're a couple. After looking at the picture for a while, Rapunzel says she wants to mourn the deceased and decides to take the photo frame with her. Feeling they won't be able to find anything else, they decide to check out the other houses. Enters the house on the right. House on the right is entirely empty. Rapunzel posits the former residents must have taken refuge somewhere else. Snow White looks at the empty room and discovers a dried white flower that has fallen to the ground. There's a buzzing in her ear, then a voice rings out. "This flower is more like you than me." Snow White? Snow White? Rapunzel's voice brings Snow White back to reality. Despite Rapunzel's concerns, Snow White insists everything is fine and tells her not to worry. Snow White then suggests they continue the search. Rapunzel agrees and walks away while Snow White picks up the dried flower on the ground. Sorry, I had to drink water. Snow White feels an unprecedented wave of emotions and surreptitiously takes the dried white flower. Feeling they won't be able to find anything. Okay, we got that. Let's do the other round. She doesn't need it. When it comes to cooking, all you need is intuition. Okay. I mean, she's not wrong unless you're baking. The baking, you really gotta make sure that you're doing it right. Rapunzel says, Snow White decides to believe her. Feeling they won't be able to find anything else in the house, they decide to check the other houses. So entry on the left. She needs it. Check out the factory. Believing there might not be supplies or food available at the apartments, they decide to check out the factory. The factory seems to be a former refuge. We got that. A boa. Take out the photo frame they got and begin praying. Rapunzel places the photo frame they got from the apartment building among the pictures on the floor and lights the candles with a match. Once all the candles in the room are lit, Rapunzel kneels down quietly without a word. Snow White stands back and watches. Stay with Rapunzel. Someone asks, why are you doing this? What? They're already dead. Rapunzel answers, death is not the end. The marks these people made during their lives will not disappear simply because they're no longer with us. Everything truly ends only when everyone who remembers them is gone. Rapunzel stands up and looks at Snow White. So I decide to remember. I don't want to be forgotten, or I don't want them to be forgotten. For everything to come to an end and rob them of all meaning. So I will keep praying. I can't read. So I will keep praying to remember the precious lives they used to lead. I will acknowledge their deaths and bid them farewell. Death is not the end. The real end happens when one's existence is forgotten. Snow White falls into deep thought. She has never thought of it that way. Rapunzel looks at Snow White, who is lost in thought, and kneels once again to pray. When Snow White watches Rapunzel pray, she asks, then how do we bid someone farewell? Look them in the eyes. Say to them, be well. Many things. Dried white flower. Wedding photo. Not bad. Rapunzel says she happens to have a cookbook handy that she'll follow. She announces she'll use this canned food to make something delicious, then she goes out to start a fire. As Snow White watches Rapunzel, her anxiety slowly builds. An appetizing soup boils in the huge pot. Its aroma fills the factory. As Snow White begins to drool. Can I have a taste? Of course! Rapunzel confidently ladles some soup into a small can and passes it to Snow White. Snow White puts a spoonful of soup in her mouth. She is filled with pure ecstasy. How is it? Does it taste okay? It's wonderful. Rapunzel's mood improves when she sees Snow White's obvious delight. With the big pot and canned goods in tow, they return to the post triumphant. Deer meat tastes good. Hail to the king of fishing. Become a master in your own kitchen today. To bid you farewell, going hungry today, meaningless hallucinations, an escaped deer does not return, the fish have fallen asleep, river butcher, become a master tomorrow. Rapunzel places the photo frame they got from the apartment building among the pictures on the floor and lights the candle with a match. Once all the candles in the room are lit, Rapunzel kneels down quietly, and I just realized that I already did that one. Walk. No. Leave the door alone. For now, looking for supplies and food is the top priority. Upon picking up the familiar smell of death coming from inside, decide not to open the door. Feeling they won't be able to find anything else in the house, they decide to check out the library. Believing there might not be so many supplies or food available at the apartments, they instead decide to check out the factory. Factory seems to be a former... Okay, we got that. Let me... Yikes. Oh, left? Oh. Leave the dried flower. A feeling that keeping the flower will bring back some unpleasant memories, Snow White decides to avert her gaze. Feeling they will be able to find anything else in the house. Oh, I meant to press apartment. Hi. What do I need? You know what? Let me get some ginger cookies for myself so that I can read this with some sugar. Thank you for waiting. Okay, so this, I have to go back. I believe I'm missing the one on the left. Doesn't need it. Needs it. Middle. Leave the door alone. Middle. Opening the door. Walk in the room. What exactly? Factory. There's nothing left in this chapter? Let me just do this. Oh, the first one? Shoot with an ordinary rifle. Turn right. Paste them. Eat mushroom. White flower. Oh, yes. White figure smiles. If you want to see me, you should come to meet me, Snow White. Snow White opens her eyes. A towering tree stands before her. Something about this all seems oddly familiar. Snow White looks at her feet. As she does, a long-forgotten memory comes rushing back. On a day when the fighting had no end in sight, she came over with a memory capsule on a sheet of paper. Everyone, write down your wishes on these and place them in this memory capsule. They tore the sheet of paper into 7 pieces. Wrote down their wishes and placed them in the capsule. She buried the memory capsule in the ground and spoke. One day, when our job is finished, let's open it together. Under that enormous tree, she made a promise that would never come true. Snow White takes out the memory capsule buried on the ground. There are 7 pieces of paper inside. I hope everyone is still alive after the war. I'm willing to follow the red flower until the very end. I hope that one day everyone will know our names. I want some food and alcohol from my hometown. I hope that we'll emerge victorious. I hope she'll be safe and sound. After reading 6 of the clippings, Snow White opens the last one, which has been neatly folded. It's hers. I hope we can save the humans. Snow White considers the last words she ever wrote. I hope we can save the humans. Snow White returns a slip of paper to the capsule and stands up. To commemorate her, Snow White decides to go to the meadow where she is buried. Memory capsule carrying several slips of paper. Nikke's from the Goddess Squad, along with their commander, have scribbled down their wishes on the paper slips. Those promises have been shattered. Even so, it fills their hearts with the courage to move forward. Oh, now I can do the meadow. I guess I should do the meadow. Meadow's the last one. Snow White walks toward the field. The sun's rays cascade across the peaceful meadow. At the far end, there is a stone coffin. Encircled by towering trees, it is there that she slumbers. Snow White gazes from afar, half in a daze. Snow White holds the memory capsule. Although Snow White isn't confident about maintaining her composure while facing her, she musters the courage to step forward. There is a buzzing sound, then a voice rings out. You're Snow White, aren't you? Hello. I'm Remain stationary. Snow White remains where she is. She doesn't have the courage to move forward and meet her. I'm not ready. I don't deserve to see her. I haven't achieved anything at all. I can't even remember her face or her name. How can I possibly face her? Not yet. It's not yet time. I can't face her yet. Snow White fails to take another step. After taking that one step towards her, Snow White stops. That's sad. Go back. She still doesn't have the courage to walk forward. Snow White goes back in the hopes of finding something that will give her courage. Keep going. No, I can't do that one. I can do the last part now? Okay, cool. Time to do it. Got the factory. Walk into the room. Photo frame. Leave Rapunzel alone and explore another location. Snow White leaves Rapunzel behind and begins exploring the factory again. She smells the familiar scent of flowers. Snow White follows the scent and finds a door towards the back. Snow White opens the door. Snow White takes out the dried white flower she got from the apartments and opens the door. As the door opens, a sea of white flowers greets Snow White. She knows the name of these flowers. They remind Snow White of her. Memories of her come rushing back. Memories Snow White has been wanting to forget. She was always fond of her. Being together with her was always a happy experience. Snow White is never happier than when they had chatted in a prairie full of flowers just like these. This flower has the same name as you.
Yes, that's where I got my name.
Snow White loved that flower ever since.
But now it seems like this flower is more like you than me.
No. This flower still resembles her. The purest, strongest, and loveliest.
Snow White.
Lily-wise. Snow White runs towards this field of lily-wise before her. After staring at the flowers for a while as if in a daze, she sits down and caresses them. Can I go and see you? Please? The sky turns red. Snow White continues to cradle the lily-wise in her arms, even when Rapunzel comes looking for her after praying. A delicate flower that shimmers a pale white day and night to Lily-wise. It came to be revealed that her name was derived from this flower. The flower, which is an integral part of memory between Lily-wise and Snow White, is the key to facing her. Now I can walk forward. Walk forward. Snow White looks at the Lily-wise flower. It was Lily-wise's favorite. I have to go. At long last, Snow White makes that step she failed to take before. Leave with the flower. A coffin lies on the vast meadow, surrounded by soaring trees. Lily-wise, the first Nikke, the leader of the goddess squad. Snow White's hero, who is stronger and more beautiful than anyone else. After a long journey, Snow White finally arrives before the slumbering Lily-wise. Bunches of flowers adorn her grave. A grief-stricken Snow White salutes. Hello. Lily-wise, my hero. Never did I feel I was in danger as long as you were there, on the battlefield with me. Never once did I retreat from anything. My honor was your honor, and your happiness was mine. So I didn't want to accept the fact that you won't be joining me on my future journey. I didn't want to accept the fact that I won't be able to see you laugh once again. But it's time to say farewell. You gave me a mission. That mission alone proves you once existed in this world. It will be the reason this world remembers you and your great achievements. So please, my sister, my colleague, my soulmate, my hero, Be well. Snow White places the Lily White's flower on Lily White's coffin. Finally, she bids her farewell. Look around. Snow White decides to check the surroundings. She slowly realizes that she has never given this place a proper once-over. As she starts to move in the direction where she can see the arc, Snow White accidentally kicks something. She looks down and finds a dog tag. Yet another memory that had remained buried for so long resurfaces. Snow White remembers that person she has previously forgotten. He said he was a mercenary, but he didn't seem like the military type. He was the man who became our leader, who claimed that he would suppress the Raptures commander. When did it begin? His bluntness, his impertinence gave way to tenderness, and he began treating us like humans. I hope you don't get hurt again. Blue Eyes kissed his dog tag. He gazed at her then, affection evident in his eyes. At that moment, Snow White realized something. She was the one who changed him. Snow White picks up the dog tag beside her feet. His name is carved on it. Why is this here? Snow White can't bring herself to leave it there, so she decides to bring it to Lily Weiss. Snow White remembers how she loved him just as much as he loved her. The dog tag worn by the commander of the Goddess Squad. It was discovered in the meadow near the entrance of the Ark. It reminds her of the kiss Lily Weiss gave to the commander as a prayer for his safety. Let's put the dog tag into her coffin to memorialize their fervent love. That's sad. Look for Lily Weiss's coffin. Walking out of the post, Snow White says goodbye to everyone and sets off on a long journey. Snow White decides to go to Lily Weiss's coffin, which she has not visited in a long time. There's something she must tell Lily Weiss before she leaves. A heavy heart, Snow White comes to Lily Weiss's coffin. She takes one step and then another. Snow White accidentally kicks something. There's a familiar-looking piece of rock on the ground. It's the sharp corner of the coffin. Snow White lifts her head and looks at Lily Weiss. It's gone. Her head is gone. In the shattered coffin, only her body remains. The white Lily Weiss flower has black scuff marks from being trampled on. Desperately, Snow White searches her surroundings. It's gone. Why? How is this happening? Her face is gone. Only her body is left. No one will remember her this way. I haven't achieved anything yet. I haven't accomplished anything she expected of me. Will her story really end so meaninglessly? No way. I refuse to accept this. This can't happen to her, not to Lily Weiss. A sound echoes from somewhere. The sound of machines. Gray intruders that disturb the ground. Raptures. Raptures. The black marks upon the white flower. They say they took away her head. Exterminate them. I will exterminate them all. I will find her head. I have to fulfill her legacy, what she wished for. I hope we can. I have to save her legacy. I have to save the humans. I hope we can save. I have to save her legacy. I have to save the humans. I hope we can save the humans. Snow White gets to her feet and walks forward. She will exterminate all the Raptures on the surface. and recover the human world. Can't believe she experiences another mind switch though, but isn't that bad? I'm surprised she returned back to normal to some degree after it. Or at the very least, she seemed normal when we saw her in the main story. But I guess not. But if Lily Weiss's head is gone, isn't that bad? Anyways, oh wait, let me actually look at the
네, 움직여드리죠.
name. Okay, too bad you for going hungry today. The steps she failed to take, buried memory, retro hood, fleetly fading, life from the parasol. Friendship she misses despite the embarrassment, the beautiful Weiss, leave with the flower, tames dog tag. Her head has disappeared. Well, that's bad. I feel like they only took the head because that's where the brain is. So maybe they want to use the brain for something. So that's just it's gonna be interesting to find out in the main story if they tackle that, I guess. Overall, though, I think I did enjoy the Overzone event as a whole. The story was very interesting. It gave a lot more context about the past, which I enjoyed. And despite how depressing it was, I actually feel like it was beautifully written, and in that sense, I don't mind that it was depressing because of that, especially with the visuals in combination with the music and the way that they wrote it. It was very nice to experience as a whole. Obviously though, because of this, it brings more interest to the Pilgrim Squad as a whole, which I liked. It makes me look forward to checking out the other events, or even in the main story if we do get to see the Pilgrims even more during that time. I look forward to learning more about them, mostly because there was a lot that is clearly going to happen, but obviously I don't know what it is yet, and I don't want spoilers, so don't spoil it. So yeah, but overall, I don't really, I mean, I know obviously this game is known for its fan service, but interestingly, I don't really think about it. More like I don't really notice it. Like, it's not like at the forefront, and the story is really strong and powerful and overwhelming to the point that I really don't notice like the fan service that people talk about. But the characters themselves are very distinct, and they're very complex too, which I enjoy. So I'm looking forward to creating more video essays on each of the characters that pique my interest, I suppose. Because I have to be interested in order to write it. It's hard for me to write something that I'm not really interested in, but at the very least, this one though, I have enjoyed the story as a whole And I actually do like the fact that the mini games are always different for the events. Like for example, this anniversary event that we have right now. I didn't expect such a mini game like that. I don't really know how to describe it. But it was like nostalgic to some people, I suppose. And let me actually go back because I actually gotta say what was it? The newest anniversary event, what I was really surprised by was how beautiful it looked. Like, Overzone looks nice too, but I don't know what it is, but like I was like pretty like shocked by how beautiful the second anniversary like area looks. And like just how refined it is. It was quite awesome to experience. Am I tired after this long stream? No, I'm used to the 6-hour stream, so I'm okay. But it's nice that I finished it. But so far, I have only completed Overzone, and then let me actually go back. I mean, I'm doing the current event, but I'm skipping the story, so there shouldn't be any problem with that. Yeah, currently I am done with chapter 7. We'll be starting chapter 8 soon, maybe over the weekend or next week. And then I'm not sure when... I wrote it down in the Discord, so I'll have to check which one I will be streaming next. Actually, let me do that right now so I can like give you guys a better response on what I'll be streaming next. Let's see. Here it is. Okay, so Red Ash will be after I finish chapter 25. And I'll just need to read N102's Bond story offline, and then I can definitely set an event. I can set a Miracle Snow event stream in December, for sure, because that shouldn't be a problem. The next main story event, or no, not main story event, but main story chapter that I will be streaming will be chapter 13. So it'll take me a while. So I assume the next stream will be Miracle Snow. That's just my assumption for now. Since I do need to complete next week's stream before I schedule another one or another stream. But yeah, December for sure. I don't know when exactly, but it'll be in December and it'll be Miracle Snow. And I will be completing this current anniversary event story offline. But I won't be reading through the story. I'll just be skipping it because I do need to collect some like materials and whatnot. So yeah, the rewards. Oh, he just puts me in a good mood. That's why I always have him right here. But I think from now on, I am going to be streaming either in Japanese or in Korean, back and forth. So don't worry about it. And please, please, please do not share any spoilers or things I haven't seen it myself. That will be considered spoilers. I really want to experience everything and get the information on my own. So please be aware of that. I do not want to see any spoilers in the comments or in the live chat in the future and whatnot. So no information after chapter 7 of main story, and no spoilers from any of the events that I've played, because the only event that I played is Overzone, okay? I have pulled for Cinderella. I believe I got her. He's right here. Is Dorothy my favorite now? Not at the moment, I would say that my favorite is
기억이
probably...
너무 부족한 것 같은데.
Who would be my favorite, actually? I was happy to get Rapunzel. I think my favorite is Scarlet. I was lucky to get Cinderella, though. I think... Oh, I got like 3 SSRs. So one was Cinderella, and then one was another Aria, and then the other one was Soda. I can't remember her name. Twinkling Bunny, I think that's what it was. So those are the 3. So I just need to get a few more SSRs, and then I think I should be okay. I'm hoping to get another one for Ain and Soda and Aria and Pepper, perhaps. So that's what I'm hoping for. So this is like my current list of characters that I have. I don't have a lot, but I don't think I need a lot. I just need copies of the SSRs, and that'll make me happy. So I think that's all I have. I'm trying to remember. If you do want to talk to me about Nikke while I'm playing it, like I said, I have it all in rotation when I'm playing it. So right now I finished chapter 7 for Arc Knights. So now I'm moving on to Limbus Company, and once I'm done with Limbus Company Canto 7 next week, then I should be able to focus on Nikke main story on my own, offline. Like that's the rotation I'm going in right now. And then after that, I think it should be Blue Archive. I have almost finished volume 4, chapter 1 for it, so I'm not sure how it is. But there will be preview trailer videos for my video essays in between, so that you guys can get a gist of what you'll be experiencing video essay-wise before it releases officially, so you might be able to keep an eye out for that. And I am in the middle of creating some physical merch and merch design and animatic. My animatic shorts are taking a while though, because I've been focusing on the video essays end of things first. But there is a lot coming, so you can look forward to all of those. And of course, you can always join my Discord to chat with me about that. I have been quite busy lately, but I do respond to people. You don't really need to ping me in there, since I look at all the messages, so you can just write my name and I'll see it and I'll respond, but that's pretty much how it is. But if not, I hope you guys will join in my next stream for Nikke, or even check out the video essay when it does come out by the end of this month. Depends on my, it'll be 2 video essays a month officially for my channel, so I don't know about like game-wise, like how many video essays, just based on what I feel like writing and what I enjoy, so please don't pressure me. In any case, I do hope I did put a lot of effort and my vulnerable thoughts into the essay, so I hope you guys do enjoy it when it releases. But in any case, thank you for joining me today. And my kids, what'd you think of today's stream? We managed to complete the Overzone event finally. So let's etch this into our memory and keep it safe. And as always, firmly inviting you to my next tea party. The so-called anime enthusiast fox. Who's that? This was Dina. So until the next one then. Bye. It was so great seeing you guys again. This has been a while. I kind of like these occasional streams. They make it a lot more fun to interact with you guys after. But yes, thank you for joining me today. Bye!